It's Fan Appreciation Night at McMorran Place, and fans are lined up around the block to get some giveaways and see their Prowlers one last time in the regular season. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you from McMorran Place, outside McMorran Place, where the lines have been long since about 3 o'clock. Doors opened at 5, but the Prowlers are giving away team photos and youth jerseys tonight for the first 500 fans in attendance, and that drew out a big crowd. Should be an awesome atmosphere for the final regular season game of 2025-26. And then the Prowlers will be turning their attention to the Blue Ridge Bobcats next week in the first round of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. But before we get there, again, 60 more minutes of hockey and maybe more. We'll see. Should be a great crowd tonight, and we'll have it all for you coming up next on the PHP Network.
Is that him?
Look over there. It's Bob. Wow, just look at that hair. Ever since he started getting his stuff from Global, the guy's unstoppable.
So that's what confidence can do?
That's just not fair.
Oh my goodness, it's Bob! Bob! Bob!
Give me the phone. I'm calling Global Pharmacy Plus for myself.
Welcome back to McMorran Place. The fans have made it into the building. All of the kids' jerseys have been passed out, and we are ready for the final regular season game in 2025-26. Will Wiggleman back with you here on the PHP Network. Prowlers and Wolves coming up in just a few moments as we return to the calendar year 2026 tonight, because last night we went all the way back to the 1970s as the Prowlers wore specialty Port Huron Flags jerseys to help represent the first pro hockey team here in Port Huron. It was 2-2 after the first period. Then in the second period, Port Huron got 3 quick goals to open it up, a 5-2 lead. And then things really broke open late in that period as all 3 goals in that second period scored by the line of Matt Graham, Austin Federley, and Artu Hakala. There's Marquise Grant Mentis running over Reed Cooper, and that's where things really started. Brian Parsons dropped the mitts with Grant Mentis immediately after that, and then in retaliation, Matt Graham went into the goal crease and hit Marshall McCallop, and things continued to escalate from there. There were more fights and more Port Huron goals. Vinny DeCumbis, Austin Federley, who wore that Flags emblem on his chest when he was growing up playing youth hockey in Port Huron. There's Jim Organ getting another. Prowlers with a 9-2 win. Knock over the beer tower over in Suite 3. And a big one for Port Huron as far as a goal differential goes. Federley finished with 2 goals and an assist. Luke James with 3 helpers. Reed Cooper and Dyson Skinner split the game. Cooper was taken out with 50 seconds left in the second period. That was after McCallop got hit and things really broke loose. Chris Paulin did not want to risk anything more for his starting goaltender, so he took out Cooper, and Dyson Skinner went 5 for 5 the rest of the way. Meanwhile, Watertown has now lost 11 in a row, limping to the finish line in a season where they will not make the playoffs. When we take a look at the standings, nothing really much changing, but Watertown still in that last place spot. If they win tonight and Indiana loses, they have a chance to finish not in last place in the Empire Division, where the Sentinels occupied throughout the entire season up until yesterday going into the game. And Watertown now sitting there again dead last in the Empire. We'll see if that's where they finish. Meanwhile, the Prowlers trying to reach the 107-point mark, which would be one of their top finishes in franchise history. Let's take a look at some players to watch for tonight's game. We would take a look at some players to watch. We'll just tell you about Brad Ryder, who's on a 4-game point streak, picked up an assist last night. Is 5 points in that span, including 4 helpers. 30 points in 52 games for the former Motor City Rocker this season. Matt Graham hit a big milestone last night. He became the second player in FPHL history to reach 400 assists in the FPHL. He is 4 games shy of 500 in the league, and that is a mark that he will likely reach in October this upcoming season, 2026-27. Again, Graham sits second in FPHL history in assists, third in FPHL history in points, and he is closing in on Tyler Jurich for that second spot in the points department. Graham finished with a goal, an assist, and 15 penalty minutes as he got a 5 and a game for hitting McCallum, but no supplementary discipline for number 51. He will be back in the lineup tonight. So we take a look at tonight's lineup. Well, guys are again resting tonight. Port Huron resting John Larkin, Grayson Dietrich, and Ryan Alexander for this game. So Connor Bazal moves up from the extra forward spot in Dietrich's spot alongside Luke James and Jamie Bucell. Alexander Ray draws back into the lineup for the first time since March the 20th. He will center Vinny DeCumbus and Bobby Price. That was a spot that had Ryan Alexander last night. The third line stays the same. Hakala, Graham, and Federley. And Justin Jamer slots in. He will play his 5th game of the season, and that will officially make him playoff eligible, and that means every single Prowler skater is eligible for the 2026 Commissioner's Cup playoffs. On the back end, Ben Brockway is taking John Larkin's spot alongside Nick Favaro. Alex Johnson and Brett Lockhart stay together, as do Tim Morgan and Brian Parsons. As actually Lockhart drawing back into the lineup after he got a break last night. So again, he'll be alongside Alex Johnson. And Dyson Skinner, who went 5 for 5 in relief last night, will get his first start as a Port Huron Prowler. Pre-game festivities continuing here at McMorran Place. A great crowd on Fan Appreciation Night. And before we get to appreciating all of our fans in the building, want to give a big thank you to everybody who's tuning in tonight and who has tuned in at different points throughout this season. It's been such an awesome ride, and we could not have done everything that we've done without all of your support. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope you can sit back and enjoy another great show. We have an awesome crew in again here tonight as we get set for the final regular season game. Wolves will hit the golf course after this one. Prowlers will have to turn their attention to the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Let's take you down to ice level for the rest of tonight's pregame ceremonies.
Make some noise for your Port Huron Prowlers! Whose house? Whose house? Associates starting lineup. On defense, number 13, Ben Brockway. On defense, number 16, Brian Parsons. At forward, number 22, Luke James. At forward, number 61, Justin Jamer. At forward, number 91, Connor Bizal. And in goal, number 31, Dyson Skinner. The head coach of the Prowlers is Matt Graham, associate head coach Chris Mullen, and assistant coach Alex Johnson. The athletic trainer Bridget Smith, presented by Port Huron and General Medicine Associates. The equipment managers Brian Larson and Jen Falk. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, and gentlemen, just removing your caps as we honor Americans, men and women serving our country with a singing of our national anthem, presented by Derek Lee by Mike Batchelor. We remind all members of the armed forces and veterans who are present but not in uniform that you may render the military salute. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the lead singer of Los Gringos, Eddie Stevens.
Woo! Sing along with me. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Then the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, land of the free and the home of the brave. Get on, baby!
Eddie Stevens, the lead singer of Los Gringos, with a national anthem tonight from McMorran Place. Prowlers and Wolves getting set to go here on Fan Appreciation Night, the final regular season game here at McMorran Place in 2025-26. Let's take a look at tonight's Orthopedic Associates starting lineup for the Prowlers. Connor Bizal, Luke James, and Justin Jamer up front. Ben Brockway and Brian Parsons on the back end. And as we mentioned, Dyson Skinner will be making his first start as a member of the Port Huron Prowlers. So Jamer gets the start. Last time he was in a starting lineup in this building, he fought, ended up getting kicked out of the game because he didn't have his jersey tied down. I did chat with him after the game. Lesson learned. I'm sure his jersey is tied down here tonight, and we'll see if he drops the mitts this evening. Let's take a look at our starting goaltending matchup presented by Harrison Metal Fab. Well, it is Skinner against Rico Gonzalez. Skinner was 5 for 5 last night in relief. He was on the ice for 20 minutes and 50 seconds. Actually, 7 for 7 officially is what he got. So he's 4-6 this season, but still not has recorded a win or loss as a member of the Prowlers. On the other side, You see the numbers for Rico Gonzalez. He's lost his last 8 starts, but he was in net for the Wolves' only win over their last 19 games. Well, the Prowlers and Meyer are combining for the Goals for Good program. For every goal the Prowlers score this season, Meyer will deliver food to families in need in our community so far this season. Prowlers and Meyer helped deliver over 11,500 meals. We had a fight right off the drop last night, none so here tonight as we are underway. Dyson Skinner stops the puck behind his net for Brian Parsons. Prowlers wearing white at home in their final regular season game. The jersey giveaway for the kids tonight was a white jersey, so I believe that factored into the decision to wear white at home tonight. But we gave away 500 kids jerseys for the first 500 kids 14 and under in attendance this evening as that puck goes up out of play. One of 2 giveaways on Fan Appreciation Night. Faceoff will be just outside of Watertown territory. There's Artu Hakala, had a goal and an assist last night, as did each of his line mates, although Austin Federley had 2 goals and a helper. So he added an extra one, but this line combined for 4 goals and 3 assists in last night's game. And all 3 of them scored in the second period. Gordon had that one slip under his stick. He's chasing after it with Matt Graham. Gordon slipped as he passed it along. Tyler Inlow into the Prowler end. Tim Organ to Bobby Price, who gives it right back. Alexander Ray in his first game since March the 20th. Starts it into the Watertown end. Ray hustles after the puck, sends it up top, quickly sent past the net. Centering feed, batted at, and patted down by Gonzalez. He covers up. Vinny DeCumbus just tried to slip that one in front for Bobby Price, the Prowlers' goals leader. Didn't have one last night, but he has 28 this season. And he is trying to become the first Prowler since 2022-23 to have 30 goals. That year, Dalton Jay finished with 33, and Joe Devaney had 30. Lev Varava wraps it around the boards, kept in by Favaro. Bucell behind the net. Cycle for Bazal. And now down low to Luke James. James taken in by McDonald. Bazal grabs the puck. Bazal on goal, sticked away by Gonzalez. McDonald and James still battling. McDonald sent James down to the ice. Bucell wants after McDonald. Those 2 battle away from the puck. Referees letting them jaw. Meanwhile, back the other way for Diaz. Pass across, swung and missed by Corgan. And back come the Prowlers. Bazal for Favaro. And now James is dropping the mitts with McDonald. Luke James will settle it himself. That's the much bigger Ian McDonald. McDonald throwing some right hands. James trying to fire back. And they break it up. James giving up about 7 inches in that fight, so McDonald with the big reach advantage. But credit to Luke James sticking up for himself. And we got a great look on our Aiden Vision camera down there on the ice, ringside. So it took a little bit longer than last night to get our first fight of the game. Well, we get it 2:14 in. And we get a face-off down in Watertown's end. Federley one-hands the puck deep. Dunford and Graham tie up. Now it pops out to Dustin Henning. He couldn't control it. Floated towards it. Hakala scores! Nice pass from Matt Graham. And Artu Hakala gets the scoring started early. Henning couldn't control the puck. Austin Federle floated it back deep. And a nice tap from Graham to Hakala, who puts home his 15th of the year. That's a skill pass there from Matt Graham. It's a quick little back pass to R2 Hakala. And the Prowlers off end running early. Parsons to Organ. Tried to send Price up on his way. Delayed penalty here coming up against Watertown. And Port Huron will go to the power play. Well, Brian Dunford goes to take a seat, and the Prowlers power play gets his first opportunity, 1 for 3 last night, as Federle and Hakala pick up the assists, or Federle and Graham, I should say, pick up the assist on the goal by R2 Hakala. Graham picked up his 400th assist in the FPHL last night, which is second all time. This power play unit consists of Graham, Federle, Hakala, Favaro, and Johnson. Graham tapped back to Hakala, dragged it in front, and Gonzalez has it underneath. Well, face-off coming to Gonzalez's right as he was able to stone R2 Hakala. Off this drop, Federle the wrister missed wide. Kerr back in front, just went past Graham. Graham with it now. Swept it in front, only found Benchic's stick. And Darian Benchic sends it down the ice. He was out last night. Returns to the lineup here. 30 seconds gone on this Port Huron power play. They switch up the unit. Federle floats it over to Lockhart. Lockhart wheels in with speed. Lockhart drags, and he's stopped by Gonzalez, who wasn't sure where the puck was, but he found it in his glove. Actually, it's somewhere in his equipment. They're able to find it. And now Luke James is heading off to the locker room. May need some extra repairs. Prowlers trainer Bridget Smith heading that direction as well. You take another look at the chance for Lockhart. Gonzalez had it the whole time, he just wasn't sure. This power play unit consisting of Lockhart, Price, Bucell, Parsons, and Tim Organ. Tied up on the dot, Price knocked his man down, but the Wolves clear. Parsons trying to keep it away from Varava, who's in on the forecheck. Price threw the body into Varava. Here's Tyler Inlow, just wasting some time. Henning sends it all the way down. Parsons stops it right at the top of the circles in his own end. Off to his right to Price. Wheeling in. Price with a shot over top of the net. Bucell pops it out towards Lockhart, one-handed along. Gordon takes over, and he slides it all the way down. 30 seconds left on the penalty to Dunford. Lockhart leaves it on the wall for Graham. Up to Federle. Back pedals, down to Graham again. Tried to go up to Federle, just kept it in with one hand, did Austin Federle, but only for a moment, as the Wolves get one last clear, and Dunford is done serving his sentence for slashing. Comes around to Johnson, whipped it across, but only Reiter was there. And up comes Brad Reiter with Samard joining him. Reiter tried to drop it to Samard. Fadiev came all the way across to grab it. Attempt towards the net, hit Jamer. This one sliding all the way down. No icing here, as it didn't even reach the goal line before Samard got to it anyway. Fadiev back in, shot off a stick and up out of play. Just over 5 minutes gone in the Munger Physical Therapy first period. It's 1-0 Prowlers, and they have all the shots on net here on Fan Appreciation Night.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. I'll take, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Hello, I'm home.
There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
Kids in the crowd enjoying those giveaway jerseys tonight, courtesy of Mobility Remodelers and Jim White. Thank you, Jim, for helping us give away 500 youth jerseys to the first 500 kids 14 and under in attendance tonight. Our second jersey giveaway, we did an adult jersey giveaway back in January, and that proved to be a big success as well. Great crowd on hand tonight for Fan Appreciation Night, as Brian Dunford scoops up the puck in his own end. Pass to Bencic, and now on to Mulsigov. Working on Brockway, who finishes Mulsigov into the corner boards. Newman played it back towards those two. Henning with a shot from the point. That was blocked by Bucell. Jamer hustles to the puck. Sent it back to his defense. Lockhart, fresh off the bench, grabs it. Matt Graham's line is stepping out onto the ice. Here's the pass to Graham. Henning, quick up. Tapped along, but couldn't be grabbed by Gedman. Here comes Lockhart, 3 Wolves back. Lockhart drags and shoots, popped up in the air, and gloved over to the corner by Henning. Hakala battling for it, and it's knocked all the way down. Puck on edge, rolling towards the far corner. Johnson sends it right up the strong side in Hakala's direction. Lockhart trying to find some space, feeds it up towards Johnson, goes off his stick. In low, wheels around the net. Tecumseh trying to cut him off as Inlow dumps it in. He continues after it. Oregon reversed right up to Favaro, hopped over his stick. Gilbert came in but couldn't make a play on it. Wrapped up the near side wall, kept in by Varava. Price stepping around Varava. Walks across his own blue line, and the Prowlers set up the regroup. Dumped all the way down, no icing here as it hit a Wolves stick. Varava flags it down in the near corner, had Price coming in on him, and then shot on net, sticked away by Gonzalez. Ryder, long lead pass, missed Chris Corrigan with it, but offsides was Fadiev at the Port Huron blue line. And we get a whistle and a face-off. Get an edge in your game with Top Cheese Stick Wax, the official wax of the Port Huron Prowlers. Use code Prowlers15 for 15% off at TopCheeseHockeyWax.com. There's a good look at Tyson Skinner, the newest number 31. Jamison Bork was put on season-ending IR earlier this week to support the signing of Skinner. Bork is still around the team for those of you curious, and Prowlers certainly wanted to keep a guy like Jamison Bork around. He's well loved in that locker room. As Bucell able to slip past Ryder. Bucell towards Jamer, who is heading to the net, and Gordon able to cut it off. Fadiev lost the handle. Here comes Bucell, 3 Wolves back. Bucell cuts across. Down to Jamer. Two Wolves on Justin Jamer. Hakala looking to move in to help out. Jamer comes up with the puck, but his saucer pass back to Lockhart had a little too much sauce on it. Goes all the way down to the Prowler end. Lockhart quick up towards Jamer. Good touch onto Hakala. Now it's Graham working in. Down the slot on his backhand. Tried to slip it to Hakala. Went off of Dunford's skate. Bencic along the boards. Tried to pop it out. Federley came in to prevent that. Gordon off for Inlow. Sent it ahead, glove down by Graham. Newman takes it from him. Newman tripped over the blue line, and Skinner able to gobble up the long-range try. And the first Wolves shot of the game comes 8 minutes and 51 seconds in, and it's easily handled by the Prowlers' newest netminder. Cumbus able to hand it off for Price. And now in comes Gilbert. Cumbus almost stole it. Oregon did with a rising shot that's knocked down by Gonzalez. Price turnaround try, just missed wide. Ray the first one on it. Ray tried to cycle, that didn't work. Oregon just outside of the blue line, dumps it right back in. Now it's Henning, 10.5 to go in period one, 1-0 Prowlers. As Brockway goes back to flag the puck down for Port Huron, Wolves sending out a fresh 5. Parsons over towards Bucell, kicked off his skate. Brockway back up the wall. Jamer prevented a McDonald pass from getting through. Fadiev hustling after the puck. His attempt missed wide, and Karam's over to the near side. Corrigan swung and missed. Bucell floats it across to Varava. Now to Ryder, he tips it in. Brett Lockhart wheels behind his net. Lockhart up to Jamer. Varava stepped on him. Ryder pops it out to the middle, but couldn't find Corrigan, and the puck escapes. Quick back up to Ryder. Fadia with a shot, and they stopped by Skinner. That's the midway point of period one. Still 1-0 Prowlers. Shots 8-2 in favor of the home side here on the PHP Network.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go
Go
Prowlers!
Prowlers!
Back here on the PHP Network, 9:28 to go first period. Your Prowlers have a 1-0 lead. And Will, you heard Coach Paulin talk about it a little bit yesterday. Now, they've never been a results-based team. I know Paulie's told you that umpteenth amount of times, but especially in this game when the standings are locked in, last game of the regular season, about the process. One thing I like, only 2 shots against them through 10 minutes. They're still playing strong in the neutral zone. They're still playing discipline. This team's trying to build the habits for the postseason. Will, back up to you.
Thank you, Brady. And they talked about it throughout this season that the habit building and all that preparation for the playoffs hasn't started in April. It didn't start in March. No, it started all the way back in September and October. This is something the Prowlers have been working on all season long, as Gonzalez able to kick out a shot from Hakala. Lockhart up to Hakala, and he walks in. Graham tried to float it across towards Federley. That was knocked away. Gilbert with a pass out that was blocked by a sliding Organ. I don't think Tim Organ meant to slide there. Hit the wrong button on his controller, but it still made the play. Parsons gets to the red line, dumps it in. Dunford right up the middle, couldn't find a teammate, and Parsons retrieves again in the neutral zone. Tapped up to Ray, he couldn't handle the puck though. Cumbus able to turn up ice with Price, gave it to him. Cumbus heading to the net, gets it back and sent it off the outside of the cage, and the puck pops up out of play. We'll get a face-off deep in Rico Gonzalez's end. Ray, Cumbus, and Price sticking out there for this draw. And Alex Ray will draw against Chris Corrigan, who's wearing number 17 tonight rather than his usual 18. And they may have just forgotten his number 18 blue jersey at home. And there's a save by Gonzalez as Ray was right there on the doorstep. High flip out. Brockway and Ryder came together looking for it. Henning couldn't get to it. Here's Cumbus on his backhand. Dropped it off for Ray. Fadiev on the back check, able to get in between. Corrigan streaking through, and a good stick by Dyson Skinner kept that from being a good chance for Chris Corrigan. Price off for Favaro. Bucell put it to an area for Favaro to skate into. Bazal gets to the puck in the near side corner before he's taken in by McDonald. Bazal able to come up with the puck. Cycled down low to Bucell behind the net. Bucell turning on McDonald. Bazal up high, Lockhart back towards Connor Bazal. Bucell for Jamer. He's watched by Varava. Prowlers continue to cycle. Corrigan trying to knock Bucell off the puck. Jamer now up to Bucell. Shot blocked. Came right back to him. Bucell driving the net. Gets to the middle and just slid it wide. Benchich claps it off the glass all the way down. And the Wolves ice it. A tired group of Watertown players will have to face a defensive zone face-off. And the Prowlers send out Matt Graham's line. There was the chance for Ray early in that sequence. And Rico Gonzalez came up with his 9th save of the first period. Graham wins the draw back. Shot by Parsons, slipped wide along the ice, may have changed direction on the way through. Varava looking to clear the pressure. It does get out of Watertown's end. One Wolf was able to change, just one. Back comes Port Huron. Federley dumps it in. Gonzalez stops it for McDonald. Now Varava as McDonald knocked down Hakala behind the net. Organ backpedaling, up for Cumbus. Skates right back in. Cumbus for Ray, left wing side. Alex Ray up top to Parsons. Over to Price, turning the corner. Price with a shot, gloved and held by Gonzalez. And the Wolves can finally finish their change. McDonald and Varava were stuck out there for a long, long time. Luke James has returned from the Prowler dressing room, by the way. As we take another look at that chance for Price. Moving to his left, shooting back to his right. Gonzalez able to make the glove grab. Cumbus sweeps it back to Brockway off the face-off. Bencic and Ray come together. In low digging for that puck. Bencic has it in his skates, popped it out to the middle. Samard for Newman. Brockway stepped up on him as Newman moved it. Now for right in front of the Prowler bench, right near that blue line. Finally pulled back by Samard, sent it over to Bencic. Good job by Price to deny Darian Bencic entry into the offensive zone. Here comes Favaro, wheeling. Favaro with a shot. That was blocked by Gordon. Samard to Newman. Has Gedman with him. Newman fired it right in off of Bazal's stick. Favaro now for Lockhart. Ahead to Jamer. Got an indirect pass to James. That didn't work. Gedman just reverses back towards his defense. And it's Dustin Henning who has to retrieve. Put it right up into Bazal. Gedman on him. Those two fought last night. Right off the opening drop. Jamer drops for Graham. Looking up high to Lockhart. Lockhart backpedals. Looking for a shooting lane. Has one, and it's gloved by Gonzalez. 4:21 left to go in period number 1. Still 1-0 Prowlers in the final regular season game in 2025-26.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys, here's a game plan. LJ, you start with bananas. B-Way?
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Tonight's washed-up player of the game, presented by Chippewa Laundromat, is Chris Affinati. Chippewa Laundromat, Port Huron's only multi-generational laundromat. There you see Affinati, number 4. He's trying to escape the camera here as he works down his bench, takes a seat right in the middle. Affinati fought Ben Brockway last night in his first game of the season. He's played parts of 8 years in the FPHL for 4 teams now. Mostly the Danville Dashers, but he's played for both iterations of the FPHL Dashers. 135 games, 551 penalty minutes in the FPHL career of the 46-year-old. This one sent all the way down by Henning, and icing called against Watertown. Faceoff will come all the way back down to Rico Gonzalez's end, where most of the play has been. Shots are 12-2 Port Huron. And really the only saves Dyson Skinner's had to make were some long-range shots where he could see it the whole way. Graham scoops up the puck in the corner, sent it right up the boards, but Fadia was waiting for it. Parsons ahead to Hakela. Back for Brian Parsons, and now Organ ahead to Graham. Tried to chip it past, Henning couldn't do it, and the Wolves captain dumps it back around. Federally for Port Huron. They will toss it ahead to Ray, 2-on-1 with Bazal. Ray, shot blocked by Varava. And Corrigan collects it below the goal line and sends a high flip down to Prowler territory. Ben Brockway wheels his net. Gets the red line and tried to deposit one deep in Watertown's end. Instead, his team will have to regroup. Bencic dumps it around the Prowlers' way. Skinner up the boards towards Bazal. Varava pinched in on Bazal, who made a nice play to get it out to Ray. Alex Ray and Ian McDonald go after it. Varava for Inlow. 3 minutes left to go in period one as Inlow wraps it around. James fresh off the bench, starts a rush with Bucell. Gave it there, Bucell back to James, just tipped it over top of the net. Cycle deep, James couldn't make a play on it as he was taken into the wall by Varava. Physical first period for Luke James. Bucell cut off an attempt from Gilbert to clear the zone. Matt Gilbert bounces it to Varava, back for Gilbert. James throws the body into Gilbert as McDonald sent it up to Newman. Newman fumbled it. Wolves able to get it out of their end, but the Prowlers take right back over. Toss down to Port Huron's end, no icing as Skinner came out to leave it for Parsons. Jamer had his pass picked off, and Jamer threw a check on Mulsigov. Here comes Lockhart. Brett Lockhart dances through to the forehand, stopped by Gonzalez. Puck sent all the way down, and icing against Watertown with 1:43 left to go. Well, stick around for the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We'll have Sam Keeley, noted Prowler fan and the lead singer of Full Metal Mel. Also have storylines from around the FPHL, the Out-Town scores, and much more. It's all coming up right here on the PHP Network. Face-off coming deep in Watertown's end. Ray and Gilbert in on it. Parsons tried to slide it down the boards, couldn't do it cleanly. Tecumseh for Oregon. Tried to go to Price, but pass was behind him. Samard ahead to Mulsigov. Kept it moving, but off of Tecumseh's skate. Oregon looks to step out, stick handling in front of his net, had some trouble with it for a moment, but here come the Prowlers 3-on-2. Tecumseh over to Price, fumbled it for a moment, Ray had it poked away right in front of the net. Alex Johnson for Lockhart as we hit the final minute of period one. Jamer chips it around Dunford. Dunford able to put it back out of the zone as he went tumbling over Jamer. Luke James works in. Gonzalez out from his goal crease, plays it off the corner glass. They get it ahead, or at least tried to get it ahead to Corgan. Good hand-eye from Brett Lockhart to prevent that. Bazal tried to float a pass across. That got knocked down. Lockhart able to work it up to Bazal. Now James skates in with 23. Prowlers looking for one more chance in this first period. Gonzalez able to glove it and hang on as James was dumped after making that pass. And we have 18.7 seconds left until we get to our first intermission. Gonzalez has been busy. He's made 12 saves on 13 shots so far in period one. Off the draw, comes back to the line, and Oregon's blast. Another one into the glove of Rico Gonzalez. Wolves have not had a shot on net in over 9 minutes. That was after it took them 8 minutes and 50 seconds to even get their first shot on goal of the game. But here's a chance for Bencic. Try to slide it to the middle, and it's cut off by Skinner. He covers up for a whistle and a face-off. And how about the third save of period one for Dyson Skinner with 6 seconds left in the frame. Maybe one last face-off, maybe one more after that. We will see. It's Graham and Inlow with Bencic lined up right at the top of the circle. Graham won it back. Inlow hustling to it, chopped it towards the front. Newman has to get to it, back towards the cage, and that will do it for period number 1. As the Prowlers have the only goal, it's 1-0. Shots on goal in that opening period, 14-3, as the Prowlers tie the fewest goals that they've given up in a first period this season. And they will head to the locker room with the lead. And the only goal scorer in that first period was Arttu Heikkilä. He's shaking his head because I'm making him do an interview. He's standing alongside our Brady Beaton.
Let's check in with the Prowler Spirit, presented by Gates Academy.
Down here on the ice with Arttu Heikkilä. Arttu, you managed to get the only goal of the period. Walk us through that goal.
What?
How'd you score that goal?
I don't even remember. We keep the puck on the zone and good robbery. We robbed the puck and good turnover, so that's how we scored.
So what do you guys need to do to keep this up and end the season on a win?
We keep the high intensity and try to... I don't know.
You're fine. What do you want? What are you looking to do? What do you want to improve on in the second period?
We need to be more physical and high intensity. That's it.
Arttu, thank you. Good luck in the second period.
Sorry.
Oh, you did great. Arttu Heikkilä. Will, back to you.
I'm sorry, Arttu. He did great. It was a tough task for Arttu Heikkilä, but got through it, and he is our only goal scorer here through 20 minutes of play. Again, shots on goal, 14-3. Well, once again, coming up in the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network, Sam Keeley of Full Metal Mel is standing alongside me. We will chat with him and about how he became a Prowlers fan and much more. We will also take a look at some storylines from around the FPHL, the out-of-town scores, and much more. It's all coming up right here on the PHP Network. Playoff tickets are on sale now. Playoffs are less than a week away. So if you don't have your tickets yet, well, you might be a little bit late here, but don't procrastinate any longer. Go to phprowlers.com/playoffs. Get your tickets for games 2 and 3 here at McMorran Place. If game 3 is not played, your credit will be rolled over for a future ticket purchase, whether that's in the playoffs this year or next season. So if you get game 3 tickets and it's not played, don't worry, you are covered. So visit phprowlers.com/playoffs today and make sure you're here for the best time of year. Prowlers with a 1-0 lead through 20 minutes of play. We'll be right back here on the PHP Network.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry?
Howie's!
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Hey, Spike, my hip meds are costing a fortune. My humans are stressed, and they're pretending it's fine.
You're not alone, Max. My humans are cutting back on my flea and tick meds.
Ugh, tell me about it. My thyroid pills were draining the kibble fund until we found Global Pharmacy Plus.
Online stores? Are they actually cheaper?
Way cheaper. They save my humans 40% or more compared to those other big online sites.
My humans can finally afford on premium treats again!
Congratulations on your engagement again, man. You know, you should get some life insurance.
I never really thought about that. How would I do that?
We can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. Congratulations on getting married, man. Have you gotten a house?
We just got one, actually, yeah.
Well, if you want, we can help you out with life insurance at Zach Egan State Farm to cover your mortgage. Is Olin a year old now?
He is.
Wow. Have you guys got life insurance set up on him yet?
I haven't even thought about it yet.
Oh.
How would I go about that?
Well, we can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. High five?
Yeah, hon, we should have gotten life insurance years ago.
Hey, Ken. We've actually got a policy for people your age at Zach Egan State Farm. Give us a call.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here at McMorran Place, 1-0 Port Huron through 20 minutes of play in the final game of the 2025-26 regular season. And I'm up here with a good friend of the show, Sam Keeley. Big fan and lead singer of Full Metal Mel.
That I am, all of those things, definitely. I'm so happy to be here with the great Will Wiggleman, the siren that called us from Phoenix to Port Huron, listening and watching the games.
Do you remember, like, you told me that story, I think it was New Year's Eve 2024, I think it was.
Yep.
And you called me over to the table because we were having that event with the fans over at the Brass Rail, and you said, hey, Will, I moved here from Arizona because of you.
Yes.
So how did the story go?
So basically, I got a big promotion at work. I'd been working remotely. We've been living in Phoenix for about 16 years. Coupled to the promotion and our folks getting on in age, you know, we're from Michigan. We decided to move back to the Mitten. We were going to have to move to southeast Michigan, which I was not super familiar with, being from Traverse City. We were looking at towns and houses. We were looking at New Haven, Richmond, Port Huron, and we Googled Port Huron. The first thing that popped up was the Prowlers and the YouTube channel. And my wife and I, being hockey fans, we started watching the games before we ever started looking for a house. And then we got hooked, and then we decided we were definitely going to buy not only a house, but a house walking distance to the barn, so that we could come and spend time with you.
And now here you are, but of course I know you love to watch the games at home, and I often see your posts
yes.
in your nice big theater.
Yes. Well, I have a third-floor studio. Another thing about Port Huron, if you move here from a place like Phoenix, the housing is very affordable. You can buy a very, very large house for not a lot of money and have yourself a big old Prowlers studio so you can watch the games on a insane screen.
Well, what have you thought about all of the in-game presentation that's been new this year? Now we're in game 28 of that.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I got to meet Brady earlier today and expressed how much I enjoy what he has brought. All of the stuff here on the ice, we can see right from here the on-ice projectors. Everything has been great. Even the commercials have gotten better, have been much higher quality. We actually watched an ECHL game recently when you guys were on a bye week, and it was astonishing how low their production values were compared to your production values here at the Prowlers.
Well, I won't make you tell us who they are.
Those are Griffins. Those are Griffins for sure. They do have a dancing unicorn, but no actual commercials with actors or anything.
Dancing unicorn.
Yes.
You know what? We might have to bring that in next year.
Yeah, don't do that, Will.
Tell us a little bit about your band, who sponsors our Keeley's Corner segment,
Yes.
which is named after yourself.
So we are a doom metal / stoner rock band, like heavy psychedelic, all original music here in Port Huron. Started in Phoenix, and it's only got better since we moved to Port Huron. I usually only play 5 to 7 gigs a year, mostly festivals. But we are on YouTube, on Full Metal Mel, and on Facebook on Full Metal Mel, at Full Metal Mel. For usually we put out a brand new song about every other week. Yeah.
Now, for, again, fans like yourself who may not be from this area, who may be just discovering the Prowlers, I know we've had a few people discover the Prowlers throughout this season on our YouTube channel. What do you say to those people to get them really hooked?
It's old school hockey. If you want old school hockey, that's what really, really got us, was the NHL over the last decade or so has gotten a lot more floating around the ice, a lot more like Datsuk style players and a lot less like Matt Graham style players. It's a lot less dropping the gloves. There's a lot less grit, a lot less just overall excitement for my dollar anyway.
And for not too many dollars, you can be out here and nice and close to the action here. Where do you like to sit? Where's your favorite spot in the building?
We sit second row at the end of Section 5. We've been sitting there for 2 years straight. It's a fantastic. The people there are just wonderful. Really, really nice folks. Yeah, that's where we like to sit. If we don't make it in time and we lose those seats, then we'll move a little farther east. But yeah, Section 5.
Sam Keeley, I will let you get back to your folks down there and the great folks of Section 5. But thank you so much for joining me up here.
Thank you. This was excellent. Thank you.
It was great to have you up here. So we'll be right back here on the PHP Network. Prowlers with a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. There you are. There he is, Full Metal Mel and Sam Keeley.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
On Prowlers hockey, as presented by no shot. Back here in Port Huron, that was Sam Keeley, one of our great fans. And it is Fan Appreciation Night here at McMorrin Place. You see pictures down there on the ice taken throughout this season from some of our great fans. And it's awesome to celebrate the people who come out and support every single night or even just a few nights a year. And these are the people who keep hockey here in Port Huron, keep myself employed as well. So shout out to everybody who is out here tonight, and shout out to everybody who has been out to a game this season. Let's take a look at what's going on around the FPHL. We start with our thumb rust control FPHL storylines. And, well, last night the final spot was locked in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. All the teams had clinched, but we weren't sure who was going to play who in the Continental Division. Last night, the Athens Rock Lobsters took down the Monroe Moccasins, and the Lobsters officially clinched the Continental Division title. The Lobsters will take on the PD Ice Cats, who are the 4th seed on the Continental Division side in round 1. And the Columbus River Dragons will visit the Monroe Moccasins in round number 1, as the Moccasins will have home ice advantage in that one. Zach White of the Twin City Thunderbirds, who are not playoff bound for the first time in franchise history, he gets called up to the ECHL and the Greensboro Gargoyles. So a nice call up there for White. He has 66 points in 50 games with the Thunderbirds this season. The aforementioned River Dragons were active on the waiver wires. They claimed Dustin Jessel from the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Bobcats released him earlier this week. 48 points in 33 games for Jessel, playing with PD and Blue Ridge this season. So he certainly brings a scoring punch, but as fans of this league know, there is a reason why he has not been able to stick with the same team for an entire season in quite a while. And those are your storylines presented by Thumb Rust Control. Keeping it around the FPHL, this is the only game so far, so if you're tuning in, waiting for your team's game to start, thank you so much for joining us. Here is the entire slate tonight in the FPHL, and it starts with the Danbury Hat-Tricks and the Binghamton Black Bears in Binghamton tonight. That one dropping the puck in just a few minutes. Binghamton eked out a 4-3 win down in Danbury last night. 5 minutes after that, the Ice Cats and the River Dragons will battle again. What a game last night between those two. PD had a 4-goal third period lead, but the River Dragons came back to win it 7-6 in overtime. Thunderbirds and Bobcats play the second leg of their home-and-home. That puck drops at 7:30 p.m. Blue Ridge won its 10th in a row franchise record winning streak, and they'll try and head to the playoffs where they'll face the Port Huron Prowlers, continuing red hot. They won 4-3 last night on the road. 8:05 p.m. puck drops in Topeka, Baton Rouge, and Monroe. Scarecrows will try and head into the playoffs with another win as they look to take 2 of 3 from the Sentinels. Zydeco and Breakers had an absolute melee of a game last night, especially at the end. They'll play one last time before heading to the golf courses. And the Moccasins and Rock Lobsters, this game will not mean nearly as much as the one last night did after the Lobsters won and officially clinched that top spot in the Continental Division. Of course, here it's 1-0 Prowlers through 20 minutes of play. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours, the sponsor of our out-of-town scoreboard. As the teams get set to hit the ice, let's take a look at our Gunther Graphics game stats from this game so far. Prowlers had the only power play of that opening period. They're 0 for 1 on the man advantage, but they outshot the Wolves 14-3, which is tied for the fewest shots on goal the Prowlers have given up in a first period this season, and tied for the second fewest that they've given up in any period this season. They did give up just 2 shots on net in the second period of a win here in this building back in December against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Well, the Wolves hit the ice led out by Rico Gonzalez. And Gonzalez, again, the much busier goaltender last night. He was sharp as he made 13 saves on 14 Prowler shots. And Gonzalez had a rough time out the last time he started in this building, and that was when the Prowlers finished the game with 12 goals. Gonzalez gave up 6 of them in less than half the game, including 4 in the first period. but tonight he has been very, very sharp. And now Dyson Skinner leads the Port Huron Prowlers out. Skinner stopped all 3 shots that he faced in the first period. Not too busy, but made the saves that he had to and made sure he got his touches in. He was very active with the goal stick outside of the crease, behind the net, and around the cage, stopping pucks and passing them off to his defense. The final second period of the regular season. The Hungry Howie second period here on the PHP Network. There you see our 2 netminders getting stretched out and ready to go for this one. Prowlers trying to send their fans home with one last win in this regular season. They've won 19 of their first 27 home games this season and trying to go for number 20 at home. And overall, 36 wins for the Prowlers so far this year. That ties the second most in franchise history, when they won 36 back in their inaugural season in 55 games. And of course that team went on to win the Commissioner's Cup in 2016. The only time they had more than 36 wins was when they posted 44 in just 53 games back in 2017-18. That team lost in the Commissioner's Cup final. Dustin Henning flags the puck behind his net. Puck stopped up behind, they're on the back of the cage. Bencic able to kick it along and out of the zone. Parsons for Bucell. Tried to go ahead to Jay Murray, knocked it down. Henning spinning away from Bucell, one hands it up the boards. Inlow comes back to collect, pitchforked out. Oregon D to Parsons. Bucell for Oregon. And now up towards James. He and Samard go after it. Samard wins that puck. Sent it ahead to Newman, has Bencic with him. Bencic left wing side, back towards Newman. Inlow on his backhand forehand, slipped it wide. Tried to be banked out in front and covered up by Stuart Skinner. Dyson Skinner. So face-off will be down in Skinner's end. Minute 30 gone in period number 2. Austin Federley able to slide the puck out of his zone, but Ryder blocked the pass he was trying to make. Favaro all the way up, missed his intended target. And Corrigan dumps it back into Port Huron's end. Favaro gave it away to Ryder. Puck pinballs in front, and Hakala able to slide it to Austin Federley. One hands it in. Samard D to Gordon, and the Wolves get it right back out of their end. Johnson quick up to Ray, fresh off the bench. Ray slams on the brakes. Twisting and turning on Ryder on the half wall. Here's Lockhart walking in with a shot. Stopped. Rebound swept away by Gonzalez. Cumbus knocked it down at the blue line. He walks. Gives down to Price. Cumbus and Gordon after that saucer. Ryder now slipped it up to Fadiev. 1-on-2. Fadiev couldn't dangle through. And then he's knocked down by Lockhart. Alex Johnson flies in, and he missed high glove. Price couldn't keep it in, but he did take it away from Gedman. Gedman has it back, got it to Gordon, who fanned on an outlet pass. McDonald backed him up. His pass to Mulsigov missed. Skinner had to come up with a pad save there as it was bumped behind the net, came back in front, and Now we have a bit of a disturbance to Skinner's left. It's what looked like a routine bump back from D to D. Ended up coming out towards the front of the net, at least to the side of the cage, and Dyson Skinner had to be alert. Lockhart, who tried to bounce it around and ended up not finding his defense partner, Organ. Malsagov asked to leave this face-off. Gedman will take it instead against James. Slid up top. Fanati couldn't control it. And here comes Brian Parsons leading the 3-on-2 rush. Bucell to the trailblazers. Oh, he's stopped by Gonzalez. Good step by Organ. And he starts back in with Graham. Organ towards Graham. He was upended as he had two Wolves on him heading towards the net. Back the other way comes Watertown. Gedman on goal, patted away by Skinner, came back out in front. Malsagov across to McDonald. Feeds it down low to Affinati. He's taken in by Tim Organ. Varava, long range shot, blocked by a Prowler, and it lands for Bazal. On to Graham. Graham slows up, delays, drops, tried to drop for Bucell. That didn't work. Instead, here come the Wolves the other direction. It's Benchich trying to feed it towards the net. Good play by Favaro. Bucell wheels up with Hakala. 4 Wolves back as Bucell deposits the puck into the near side corner. Swept around by Henning. Newman hustling after it. Newman dumps it in. Favaro up towards Federley. He was tied up with Dunford, no icing, so Gonzalez waits for it behind his net. Henning for Newman, and he tips it into Port Huron's end. Ryder pops it off the wall. Newman to the cage and just slipped it wide along the ice. Newman up high to Henning. Back down low off the backboards. Comes over to Ryder. Henning tried to shovel it across. Knocked down by Price. Here comes Bobby Price on a breakaway. Shut down by Gonzalez. Price tried to one-hand it on his backhand. And Rico Gonzalez able to get the pad down. Johnson steps around Henning. Johnson still with it, trying to muscle through, but Fadiev picked his pocket. Johnson takes it right back. Gave it to DeCumbis, walking in, down low, looking for Jamer. And Gonzalez got a piece of it as Justin Jamer was looking for his first pro goal. Here's Fadiev walking down, and a save made by Skinner. Fadiev turns the corner, down low, tipped, and Skinner the save, swept ahead to DeCumbis. Working on Gordon. DeCumbis lets it go, missed on the short side. Oregon controls, centering feed came all the way through. And Parsons recollects and neutralized. Prowlers regroup. Lots of action in the first 6 minutes and change of period 2. Hakala bumps it up the wall to Federley. Back down and around. Graham reaches for it. Samard pitches it up the boards. Brockway claps it back into Watertown's end, and now it's Samard. For his defense partner, Gordon. Try to launch one out. Graham able to glove it down. And the Prowlers take control. 1-0 Port Huron, 13:20 left to go in period 2. James feeds it across, knocked down by Ryder. Gedman slides it down low. Clavara right back up the strong side. Brockway sidestep the check from Gedman. And Brockway giving Gedman the business in the corner, and Ben Brockway's getting a penalty. Gedman going back after him, and the linesman stepping in between. Cross-checking the signal, and a Wolves power play looks to be coming when we return here on the PHP Network. Looking for a pregame meal? Zip Sauce Burger is located in the Industrial Park Marathon. Zip Sauce, the official burger of the Port Huron Prowlers. Ben Brockway in the box. He's now eclipsed 200 penalty minutes this season. He got 2 for cross-checking here. Brockway 4th in the FPHL in penalty minutes coming into this game. Brian Parsons is 3rd at 205, so Brockway now 4 minutes back of Parsons in that category. 1 and 2 are both former Prowlers. AJ Schlepp far and away number 1 in penalty minute totals, especially after picking up 40-something penalty minutes last night, I believe, after everything that transpired at the end of that game between the Breakers and the Zydeco. And number 2 is Tucker Scantleberry of the Monroe Moccasins. Benchich walks the blue line, floats a shot through, blocked by Bazal, and he clears it down. Prowlers get all 4 killers off. Benchich, Ryder, Fadiev, Newman, and Gordon. This power play unit for the Wolves. Parsons able to float it all the way to Gonzalez again. Benchich up to Gordon, right wing side. Gordon trying to wheel in. One hands it around. Lockhart gets to it first, and he clears again. 50 seconds left in the penalty to Ben Brockway. Benchich, indirect feed to Inlow, and DeCumbus disrupted that play. Favaro able to saucer it all the way down. Not much getting going on this Watertown power play. Gilbert up to Inlow. He played it off a skate. Here's Hakela working in short-handed, and he tried to toss it to the corner, and instead he sent it over the glass out of play. Gonzalez went down early, and Hakela was trying to go high glove, and instead the puck went up out of play into the protective netting. 20 seconds left in the Wolves power play, and an offensive zone faceoff coming for Port Huron. Inlow won it back. Farava gave it up to Gilbert, right wing side. Gilbert couldn't get in with the puck as it was poked off his stick. Wolves set up though. It's Gilbert with an attempt towards the net, hit his own man, and it caromed over to the corner. Parsons has it there. Over towards Johnson as Brockway is out of the box, back to 5-on-5. Johnson with a man breaking. It's Jamer, Justin Jamer! Stopped, rebound, and another save by Gonzalez. Jamer was bidding for his first pro goal. Rico Gonzalez able to stand tall. Jamer came off the bench for Ben Brockway. After Brockway came out of the penalty box, Johnson found him on the stretch pass, and the left pad save made by Gonzalez, and then he was ready for the rebound as Graham was crashing the crease. Stays 1-0, shots 21-6 in favor of the Port Huron Prowlers. Rico Gonzalez, the early pick for MVP of the Wolves in this game. Port Huron able to poke it out, but couldn't go up on a rush. Henning brought it back in offside as his team hadn't touched up. Well, a face-off just outside of the Prowlers' end, and they'll make another change. Alex Raisline steps out. Let's take a look at Rico Gonzalez. On his 3rd team this season, also played for PD and Danbury earlier this year. This is his 29th start of the season. Lockhart for Johnson. Slipped it ahead to Ray. Peels back away from Ryder. Johnson and Ray ran into each other. Ryder Trying to give it over to a teammate, has it back, centered it all the way through. McDonald collects at the blue line. Heading off the back wall. Skinner couldn't cover, but swept out of danger by Lockhart. Dustin Henning knows a thing or two about the bounces here at McMorran Place and tried to play one there. Almost worked as Johnson peels back. Up top to Cumbus, feeds it down and around, and Price gets there first. Price trying to slip away from McDonald. Ray takes over. Up to Lockhart. Lockhart shot partially blocked, floated towards the net, and Price couldn't tap it in out of midair. Ray, back pass in front to Cumbus for Favaro fresh off the bench. The Cumbus turns, gave down to Price. He and Ryder lean on each other. Cumbus takes over. Cumbus around the net. Looking, Cumbus picks his spot, and he tipped it off of Gonzalez's glove and off the back glass. Fresh off the bench, it's Hakala. Hands off, Favaro walks down the boards. Nick Favaro may have tried to bank it off of Gonzalez. He hit the back of the net, and Gonzalez gets a cover and a much-needed whistle for his group. Past the midway point of the hockey game. Still just a 1-0 Prowlers lead here on Fan Appreciation Night at McMorran Place.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here on the PHP Network, 1-0 Prowlers still on top, but the one thing I really like, and I'll go back to what I said last period, Will, the defensive zone. 6 shots allowed in 31 minutes of hockey. Doesn't sound like a real number, but it is, and the Prowlers continuing to do what they need to do, tightening things up in the defensive zone, because we talked about it yesterday. The difference in a playoff series can be a bounce here or there, so being strong in your own end is exactly what you're looking for going into the most important games of the season. Will, back to you.
Thank you, Brady, and for those keeping track at home, we played over 31 minutes and 3 or 4 seconds now. And with the Wolves having 6 shots, that means they're averaging a shot every 5+ minutes, just a little over 5 minutes per shot on goal for Watertown. Here's James finding a loose puck, gave it back for Hakala, and he couldn't find the target. Samard poked it through, James towards Graham, kicked along, Hakala with a rip, and he couldn't find the net that time either. James battling on the half wall along with Hakala. James comes out with it, lets it go, and it's swallowed up by Gonzalez. But I believe Luke James drew a penalty, and the Prowlers are going back to the man advantage. Their second power play of the game. They're 0 for 1 as a hooking call is signaled against Trevor Newman. The Prowlers send out Bobby Price's man advantage unit. Price will draw with Inlow. That unit includes Brian Parsons, who was the only Prowler last night to not pick up a point. All the other 17 skaters did get a point in last night's game. And the notable thing for Parsons is that he's 1 point away from a career high. He is 19 this season. Oregon, one-time blast, waffle boarded by Gonzalez. Parsons, straight away. Lockhart tried a seam pass to Oregon. Parsons at the top, down to Price, letting it go, he scores and leap through. And the Prowlers finally double their lead. Number 29 on the season for Bobby Price. And now Brian Parsons has tied his career high with his 20th point of the season. Gonzalez got about 90% of that one, but it just leaked through his right arm. And over the goal line. Price now on a 7-game point streak that he'll take into the playoffs. You talk about someone who's dangerous in playoff hockey. Bobby Price tied for the FPHL lead in playoff goals during last year's Commissioner's Cup playoffs. He finished those playoffs with 5 goals. As we get an icing here against Port Huron. But Prowlers are on the ice, and you should grab a glass of Proper 12 Irish whiskey. Proper 12, the official shot of the Port Huron Prowlers. Off this drop, it's Johnson wheeling around the net. Floats it ahead towards Jamer. DeCumbis scoops it up. Spins away from Gilbert. In comes Vinny DeCumbis, slipping past McDonald. DeCumbis around the net, trying to center, and couldn't get it all the way through to Ray. Malsagov with Gedman. Johnson able to take it away from Ahmed Malsagov. And now it's DeCumbis with Jamer again. Gave it to him. Jamer around the net. Knocked off his stick. Jamer gets it back. Swept it over towards Brockway, who's fresh off the bench, but he couldn't skate into it. Brockway throws a check on Gedman. Varava over towards Malsagov. Played it to the middle, but only found Jamie Bucell, who's wearing white. Brockway spun down to the ice as he blew a tire. Fadiev couldn't spin it in front. Bazal bounces it up to Bucell. Working on heading. Bucell drops the shoulder, but couldn't bring the puck with him. McDonald has Lockhart pinching in on him, able to sidestep the hit. McDonald still having trouble as the Prowlers are all over him, able to find an outlet in Henning. But his headman feed missed Fadiev, and that's an icing against the Wolves with 6 minutes left to go in period number 2. Dyson Skinner 6 for 6 right now in this game. Face off all the way down the opposite end from him. Skinner has not yet seen even the same number of shots that he saw in last night's game when he came in at the end of the second period. We are approaching the end of the second period. Skinner's played nearly 35 minutes and has seen 6 shots tonight. He saw 7 in just over 20 minutes last night. Ryder up towards Fadiev, chips it by Favaro. Fadiev trying to tuck it, save Skinner, rebound available. They poke at it, and it ends up in the corner. And Skinner able to stand that one up. Here's Oregon. Threw it off the far boards, both teams making changes as Henning wheels up. Chipped it around Hakala. Favaro gets to it ahead of Dustin Henning. Puck grabbed by Brockway. Sends a headman feed that goes off of Dunford's stick. A Wolves defenseman gives it up to Henning. Tossed ahead. Glove down by Newman, but he couldn't bring it in. Back comes Parsons the other direction. Parsons slows up. DeCumbis from the outside couldn't sweep it in front. Newman settles it down in neutral ice. Got it to in low. Harassed by Price, who pins him to the boards. Johnson tried to slide it up to Price, couldn't do it. Johnson able to knock it off of Newman's stick. And now Ray has the puck. Alex Ray for DeCumbis. Hard off the back wall. Ray slid it towards Price. In front, DeCumbis alone! Stick handles and couldn't get it to go. Vinny DeCumbis all by himself right in front. Looks to the heavens. It's still 2-0 Prowlers late in the second.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Back here in Port Huron, Vinny DeCumbis was all alone in front of the Watertown net. And he tried to outweight Gonzalez, couldn't do it, and ended up hitting the post before the puck popped up out of play. Let's see if we can see how DeCumbis got so wide open. Watch DeCumbis, he's going to work his way over to the back post here. And all of these Wolves start to move up ice. Even though the puck came through to Price, and DeCumbis all by himself in front had a glorious opportunity. Bucell off a steal. Slid it off the back wall. It's on the back of the net. Hakela able to free it. Samard up the boards, right into Alex Johnson at left point. Popped out in front, came to Affinati. He leaves it for Gilbert. Skinner plays it behind his net, swings it ahead to Hakela. Lockhart, indirect pass all the way up to Federley at the Watertown blue line, but he couldn't bring it in cleanly as that puck just bounced over his stick as it went up on edge right as it was coming into the Prowlers captain. Here's Bazal with a step. Bazal to the forehand, stopped by Gonzalez, and he leaves no rebound. Somehow Connor Bazal got behind the Wolves defense. And that's not even an insult towards Connor Bazal. The Wolves D-men were right about with their backs on the blue line, but nobody watching for Bazal, who was coming off the Prowler bench. He got a good chance there. Bazal a goal short of the Gordie Howe hat trick last night at a fight off the opening drop, and a really awesome image captured by our team here on the PHP network, and also a couple of our photographers of Bazal with his nose all bloodied, firing up the crowd after that fight. As a shot by Parsons goes over top of the net as Gonzalez punched at it. Pinching down the boards is Oregon. James able to pull it free. Cycle to Bazal. At the top of the circle, gave it to Parsons. Off a body and wide. James. Spinning off of Varava. Cycle to Bazal, working on Ryder. Jamer in front to Bazal, couldn't tuck it. He had his stick lifted and then he was dumped by Ryder. Penalty coming up against Watertown as Parsons' shot was blocked. Parsons trying to get back to it, and he does beat Corgan. Parsons tried to kick it back up. Still no whistles. The Wolves haven't touched up. Skinner's on the bench for the extra attacker during the delayed penalty situation. James up high to Price. Takes a wrister through traffic. That hits somebody. That was not Gonzalez. And James slides it down the boards to Bazal. Steps off the wall. Rips it wide. Parsons takes the carom. Tried to feed a pass across. It drops. Parsons still with control. Got it back deep. And finally McDonald touches up. And we will get the third Prowlers power play of the game. They are 1 for 2 so far. There you see the penalty right there. Ryder getting his stick in on Bazal right in the midsection and then ended up going tumbling over Connor Bazal. Bazal had himself a lane to the net. Hooking called against Ryder. Austin Federley, the wrister, hit a wolf on the way through and missed wide. As the Federley unit starts this power play, Henning able to clear it all the way down. If the Prowlers don't score on this man advantage before the end of the second period, then they will have a few seconds of power play time to begin the third, but only about 4 or 5 as Johnson works back in. At the top, Federley. Johnson straight away, down to Graham. Tap pass, Hakela scores! Second of the game for Arttu Hakela. The 6-7 celebration as they gave away the 6-7 jerseys tonight to the kids. And the Prowlers have a 3-0 lead. Tic-tac-toe passing from the Prowlers, and Hakela with the celebration right away. Johnson down to grab, and watch Hakela getting himself available as they create a 2-on-1 down low with Dunford, the defenseman. And the Prowlers make it 3 with 2 power play goals here in this second period. Price try to feed it to the middle. Newman ahead to Benčić as the Wolves look for a response. Benčić wraps it in. Lockhart around for Oregon. Up to Alex Ray. Ray with DeCumbis going to the net, tried to feed it there. He was tied up though by Samard. Vinny DeCumbis getting back on the puck. It's Ray with it. Behind the net to Price. Thought about tucking it, but instead Inlow blocked that chance. 36 seconds left in period 2. Loose puck. Ray couldn't skate in with it as Samard tied him up. Oregon ahead to Ray. Leaves for Bucell. Able to slip past Samard. Bucell working in towards Jamer. Couldn't get the pass through to him. Bucell finds it. Stopped by Gonzalez. Batted high up in the air. And it drops for Brockway with 12. James down to Bucell. James behind the net. In front. Jamer stopped by Gonzalez. They dig away. Puck loose for a moment. And Gonzalez is on top of it with 1.8 to go in period 2. I'll stick around for the second intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We're going to do our staff shout-outs, the final regular season game. Want to give a shout-out to the entire staff and everybody who's worked so hard to make Prowlers hockey happen on the ice, off the ice, and behind the scenes. So we'll get to that. We'll also have Keeley's Corner, the Outtown Scores, and much more. It's all coming up here on the PHP Network. Dyson Skinner's on the bench with only 1.8 seconds left on the clock. So the Prowlers elect for the extra attacker to see if they can get one more before the end of the period. Big face-off coming between Matt Graham and Matt Gilbert. Graham won it to the middle. Shot by Favaro, missed wide. And that will do it. Prowlers get 2 power play goals in that second period. They'll take a 3-0 lead into period number 3. And the shots on goal, well, they say a lot to a little. It's 31-7 for the game in favor of the Prowlers. They outshot the Wolves 17-4 in that middle 20 minutes alone. And our Brady Beaton is alongside one of those two goal scorers from the second period. The Prowlers' leading goal scorer and points guy, Bobby Price.
Down here on the ice with Bobby Price, scored the second goal of the game, first of that period. Walk us through that goal and how you guys really are starting to take the lead on this team.
Yeah, it was just kind of Brendan Parsons at the top of the blue line there, just kind of being deceptive, looking one way. I went the other way, and he just kind of hit me for the one-timer. It worked out well.
You know, you guys have been absolutely dominating the shots, out shooting them 31-7 right now. What are you guys doing in the defensive end that's really giving them problems?
We're just kind of focusing on our D zone, going into playoffs here, making sure we're dialed in, making sure we know what we're doing.
How do you replicate, the playoff intensity against a team that, their season's done after tonight? How do you try to bring that intensity when maybe the other side doesn't have much to play for?
Yeah, we do that week in and week out in practice. We just kind of show each other, bleed on each other, and just kind of do the work in practice.
All right, Bobby, I appreciate it. Let's go finish out this regular season strong.
Good stuff.
Appreciate it, Bobby. Will, back to you.
Thank you, Brady. And that is Bobby Price, who is hoping that this regular season only has 20 more minutes and that his team can pick up 3 more points before heading into the playoffs. Man, we are very close to playoff time. Wednesday is game 1 down in Wytheville, Virginia. We'll have that here on the PHP Network. And then next Friday, game number 2 here at McMorran Place, and game 3 next Saturday if necessary. This is just another reminder to let you know to go to phprowlers.com/playoffs to get your tickets for that one. And I may have jumped the shark here by doing that, because that is my next read here, is that we want to remind you to come out for the Prowlers' next home game. That will be game number 2 of their first round series with the Blue Ridge Bobcats, April 17th, 7:05 p.m. Playoff hockey is one of the greatest things here on God's green earth, and you want to be here at McMorran. Make this place loud. Make it so awesome for the Prowlers to play in. Make it so difficult for the Bobcats to play in. You can get your tickets at phprowlers.com/playoffs or scan that QR code on your screen now, because playoff hockey is the greatest thing that you'll get, and you can have it right here in the old barn at McMorran Place. This place gets loud and rowdy when it's packed. So pack the barn for game 2, and we may get handshakes on the McMorran Place ice that night. We'll see you here next Friday night. Again, phprowlers.com/playoffs. 3-0 Prowlers through 40 minutes of play. When we come back, we'll introduce you to the entire staff that makes things happen here on the PHP Network and throughout the Prowlers organization.
Come on, guys, hop in. We're not getting in that thing. That thing's gross.
Yeah, I wore my nice pants today. This thing could use a detail.
Well, I don't know. Do you know anybody who could detail a boat? I think that guy could.
Hi, I'm Logan from Ballard's Detail. I can detail your boat. From oxidized and faded to smooth and glossy, our professional compounding and waxing process will get your boat looking new again. Contact us today at 810-956-8318. Visit us on Facebook at Ballard's Detail LLC.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, I'm home.
There he is. What is happening? Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch? Spicy. Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite. Can you stop? Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack wrap is back.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. I'll say, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Head over to the Birchwood Mall for your shopping and entertainment needs. Hop on the carousel, shoot some hoops, or visit some of their great stores such as Gerlach's Woodworks, where they specialize in handcrafted wooden decorations. Add to your fan cave a Prowlers themed creation. Upgrade your bathroom at Luxury Bath Mobility Remodelers. They can fully customize your bath or shower to fit your needs, and they also do flooring. For the sports fan in your life, pick up a unique gift from Pro Edge Sports. Jam-packed with all kinds of memorabilia. There's something for everyone. And it's not a trip to the mall without Auntie Anne's pretzels. Grab a freshly made full-size cup of pretzel bites and wash it down with some frozen lemonade. At the Birchwood Mall, you can find this and more. Visit them on 24th Ave in Fort Gratiot.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring. We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas. B-Way.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it. Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue. Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Back here on the PHP Network, it's 3-0 Prowlers through 40 minutes of play in the final game of the 2025-26 regular season. Well, if you've known the Prowlers for a long time, you've known that there's been quite the skeleton crew here making things happen for a long, long time. That changed this summer as we get into our entire staff shout-outs, and I apologize in advance if I miss anybody because there are a lot of people here that were not here last year and or in the years before, but it's just been awesome to see our crew grow. And it started at the top. Ken Andrews bought the Prowlers this summer. He bought the Motor City Rockers last January. That obviously didn't work out very well. They're hoping to bring back the Rockers this upcoming season, but he needed another venture for this season, and the Prowlers were available, and he swooped in and bought the Prowlers, and he invested a lot of money and a lot of resources into this team to get all the stuff you see out there on the ice right now. I mean, just look at your screen. There are video projections on the ice, which I know if you've been watching games and have been here, you might be a little bit used to it now, but there's only 2 buildings in the state of Michigan that can do this. McMorran Place and Little Caesars Arena down in Detroit. So what we are doing on the ice, thanks to the investments from Ken, is absolutely NHL level stuff. And our crew has done a great job at taking full advantage of these resources. But after Ken, we start in the front office, the hockey ops. Matt Graham, Alex Johnson, and Chris Paulin have all really run this organization they still do most, if not all, of the corporate sales. They, of course, run the hockey team portion of the show, which, of course, is a big part of it. And they get that team ready to go on the ice. Johnson and Graham, of course, play. Chris Paulin patrols the bench. And they make the team run. They have gotten this team over 100 points this season and into the second place spot in the Empire Division. And they will get home ice advantage in the first round of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Also on the bench during games, you'll see equipment managers Ken Falke and Brian Larson and trainer Bridget Smith. Great support staff system for those guys down there on the ice. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the McMorran staff led by Rob Churchill, Dalton Jay, and the whole crew. You have them out there on the Zambonis. We saw them cleaning up blood on the ice last night. They make sure that ice in this building is ready to go, from those guys to the concessions staff people to the security staff and everybody that's here from McMorran. Shout out to all of them for all of their hard work. They are not Prowlers employees, but they make Prowlers games happen. And of course, this would not be able to happen without them. Of course, our brand new team store is one of those great features that we've added this season, and Christy Andrews has led that charge as our director of merchandising. Brooke Schumacher has been working in there. I'm sure you've seen Brooke if you have gone in that team store during a game, and she's been a big help down there as well. And you know, that team store, if you have not checked it out, awesome place to shop. Off-ice officials are a huge part of any building, and here at McMorran Place, the off-ice official staff is led by Dave Peabody and Brad Fink. And then in the arena, lots of entertainment for the fans outside of the game, and all of that is run and led by Amber Graham, as she has done for a long time, and she's had a lot more people to work with certainly this year. In-game hosts have been Cheryl McCoy and Sarah Dent this season. Also Samantha J has filled in a few times. DJ, of course, every night, Jim McPhee running the music. PA announcer Austin Dunn, projectionist Sean Detvey, who is up here on my side of the booth. So shout out to all of those guys for, again, making all of this come to life, visuals and audio-wise. Also want to give a shout out to our other volunteers and staff here in the arena: Billy McGill, Samantha Redinger, Aiden Marie Yeager, Bob Bolwinski, Taylor Elsholt, Zoe Hildebrand, Grace Hillman, Bethany Palmaville, and Leah McCoy. And they're the ones that you see selling Chuck-a-Puck, setting up tables, 50-50, all of that fun stuff, and just helping fans with places to go and the in-arena experience. And then we get to my department, my people who have grown tremendously. I mean, the last few years we had a photographer in David Dell, and of course Kim Nelson, who was just my single camera operator. But before we get to the broadcast team, the rest of the media team, led by content producer Aiden Bricker, who's done so much, not just being Aiden Vision down there on the ice, but he's put together everything you see on the ice, all those ice projections. That's all Aiden Bricker, and he has done a fantastic job with all of that. Our photographers this year, David Dell, of course, is back. We have Brandon and Adrian from Lakewind Photography join us, and Brooklyn Hostler as well. Social media, Sydney Reed has helped us out with that on many a game day this season. And Zach Dotson has been putting out some fantastic graphics all season long for our social media and the in-arena stuff, as well as the broadcast. So shout out to all of them for all of their hard work. And now we get to the people up here in the broadcast booth, the Mike Emmerich broadcast booth. Give it up for these people here, technical directors Christian Jackson with his interns Andres Hyde, Liz Brown, and Kyle Costin. Zach Dotson right next to me. He not only creates the graphics, but he also operates the graphics on our game day. Sean Detvey operates the graphics for all of our road games. So Sean, in-arena projectionist and broadcast graphics. He's been a part of all 56 games for us this season. Camera operators throughout the year, we had Kim and Alexander Nelson, Paul Campbell, Elizabeth Sullivan, Damian Pollock, Reagan Hayden, and more have helped us out throughout this season. And of course, the people you see on the air, on the sidelines, and in the studios, Brady Beaton and Molly Urquhart, have given me a bit of a chance to breathe throughout games this season and given me a chance to rest my voice just a little bit during intermissions, and provided some great insight of their own. And you know what, the fact that those two have been involved, that has given us the opportunity to do what I think is the coolest thing that we've added to the broadcast this season. That is post-game interviews live on the PHP network, whether they're live here at McMorran Place or pre-recorded during the post-game when we're out on the road. And Brady either does the interview, Brady and Molly did the interviews here at McMorran, and they host the post-game show to allow me to go get those interviews for you during road games. And thank you to everyone who stuck around for those interviews, because I know it's a long time to wait for the post-game show, and a lot longer especially than you're used to waiting for a post-game show here in the FPHL. But I think that's been a rousing success. So shout out to those guys for allowing that to happen and bringing that dream to fruition for me. And of course, one last thank you to you, the viewers at home. It is Fan Appreciation Night. We want to thank all the fans who are here in the building, but also the fans who are at home tuning in, all the people who may have found the Prowlers by accident, may have been longtime fans of the Prowlers, or maybe you are a family member or a friend of one of the guys who's down there on the ice. So shout out and thank you to all of you who have tuned in this season, or maybe you're a fan of a different team and just like the way we do things here on the PHP network. Thank you all for tuning in, because this would not be what it is without you. So thank you to you all for your support, and we look forward to continuing things into the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. All right, I think I got everybody, and we will be getting set for period number 3 coming up in just a few minutes, and we'll be right back here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorran experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
From Prowlers Hockey, presented by Patrick. Shot. Second intermission wrapping up here on the PHP Network, and it's 3-0 Prowlers through 40 minutes of play. Well, you had Sam Keeley on in the first intermission, and now it's time for Keeley's Corner as we take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Prowlers. Playoff time next week. They take on the Blue Ridge Bobcats in round number 1. Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. down in Whitfield, Virginia. And then Thursday off, and Friday, Saturday here at McMorran Place. There will be handshakes on McMorran Place ice for the first time in a long time. You won't want to miss that. This is the first time since 2018 that the Prowlers have earned home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Get your tickets now at phprowlers.com/playoffs. Turning our attention back around the entire FPHL as a few other games have gotten underway since the first intermission. And we start in Binghamton, the home of the back-to-back Commissioner's Cup champions, and a team that will have home ice advantage throughout the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. The Binghamton Black Bears have a 2-1 lead on the Danbury hat-tricks through 20 minutes. Eli Rivers opened the scoring for Danbury, but Ivan Bondarenko and Nick Swain scored 30 seconds apart to give the Black Bears the lead. Again, they are at the first intermission there. Still playing in the first period in Columbus. Dragons and the Ice Cats, they are scoreless. Brendan Colgan in between the pipes for PD. Trevor Babbitt for Columbus, still searching for the game's first goal, late stages of period 1. Midway through the first in Virginia, all Bobcats so far. Michael Mercurio, Jordan Rosenbaum, and Nikita Kazirev all have goals as the Bobcats are looking to extend a franchise record 10-game win streak, and they're off to a hot start right now with 3 goals on their first 5 shots. still to come, dropping the puck in just about 10 minutes. The Indiana Sentinels wrap up their inaugural season, visiting the Topeka Scarecrows. The Biloxi Breakers and Baton Rouge Zydeco is the last we'll see of them this year as they battle one last time at Raising Cane's River Center. And we'll see if there's more feistiness and fisticuffs after the end of last night's game, which was absolutely nuts. Finally, the Athens Rock Lobsters and Monroe Moccasins will finish 1-2 in the Continental Division. They'll battle one last time in Monroe. Of course, here it's 3-0 Prowlers. The out-of-town scoreboard has been presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. You know what? I did miss a few people in my little thing here during that second intermission. I want to give big shout outs to Becca Heck and Brady Beaton for just all the general work that they do here, as Becca Heck is currently filling in for Amber Graham tonight, running the in-arena operations, and Becca also does group sales, helps with game night planning, and all kinds of stuff. So she does just about everything here, as does Brady, as does Chris Paulin with sales and whatnot. So I want to give a big shout out to those people and to all of our corporate partners who have supported us throughout the season. Let's take a quick look at our Gunther Graphics game stats. One of our great corporate partners, Gunther Graphics. Prowlers out shooting the Wolves 31-7. They're 2 for 3 on the man advantage, and they are trying to finish this one out. The man you see there, Dyson Skinner, 7 for 7 in this one so far. Rico Gonzalez is back in the goal crease, down on the other end. 28 saves on 31 Prowlers shots. The CJ's third period, the final 20-minute period of the regular season. We'll see if the Prowlers can wrap this one up with another W. And it would be their 37th of the season, which would be the second most in franchise history. Not sure what we're waiting for here, as Trevor Newman is ready. Alexander Ray is ready as well. Referee Chris Hoy drops it, and we're underway in the final frame of regulation in front of a crowd of 2,067 here at McMorran Place. So another game with over 2,000 fans. Thank you again to all the great fans who came out tonight. And if you want to be part of a crowd like this, come out for game number 2 between the Prowlers and the Bobcats next Friday night, as they play in the first round of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. This face-off is deep in Watertown territory between Luke James and Trevor Newman. James won it back. Bazal lets it rip, and a glove save made by Gonzalez. Connor Bazal's family is here in the house. I saw his parents before the game. Also saw Reed Cooper's dad before the game. Got to see Cooper's last start of the regular season last night. Cooper didn't play the whole game, but was able to make some great saves after settling in, as Bucell able to tip a Nick Favaro shot on the way through. Favaro keeps the puck in the offensive zone. Always love seeing the player families traveling to see the guys either here in Port Huron or out on the road. I've met so many family members, parents, siblings, friends of the players out there on the ice, and it's always a lot of fun. And you know, I always say to people that the most important people that are watching, and apologies to anyone who might be offended by this, but I think the most important people watching are those family members who sacrifice so much to get these guys where they are, and to see them reach pro hockey, it must be so special for them. And I just hope that we can do it justice for them. As the Wolves ice the puck here, and the Prowlers will get an offensive zone face-off. Face off to Gonzalez's left. Matt Graham's line out there. Trevor Newman still out there. He took the first face-off of the third period. Artu Hakala tried to take it to the net, could not. Gordon slipped it through to Johnson for the Prowlers, who turns it the other direction. Lockhart had it tipped in by Federley. Heading after it along with Graham. Those two cancel out. Graham popped it out. Federley between the legs. He's stopped by Gonzalez. Austin Federley tried a little fancy move there, going between the wickets, and Gonzalez able to make the save. Federley found that puck to Gonzalez's left, and between the legs, Gonzalez sealed off that post, and he keeps it 3-0. Ray asked to leave this face off. Jamer will take it instead against Ryder. Jamer won it back clean, but got past Favaro. The puck just disagreed with him. Samard, chased by Ray, able to bounce it out all the way down. Comes right on Skinner, looking for a passing option. He has Favaro. Favaro lost it to Fadiev. Wrapped around the near side boards. Sent back down low by Inlow. At least that was the plan. But here comes Price the other way. 3-on-2 for the Prowlers. Price over to Ray. Tap pass across, looking for Justin Jamer, and that was knocked out of the zone. Morgan for Ray, and now Jamer steps around Affinetti. Gonzalez stops it, wheels it behind the net to Inlow. Try to drop it back, ends up on Samard's tape. Bazal goes in and finishes his check on Samard. Inlow, high flip out. Gloved by Samard, delayed offsides here against Watertown, as Malsagov was way over the blue line before Samard sent the puck in deep. Prowlers, though, almost iced the puck. Good hustle by Jamie Bucell to negate that icing. Backdoor play, looking for James. He couldn't bring it in. Bucell looking in front. Bounce up high. Organ a drive. Punched out by Gonzalez. Sticked over to the far boards. Malsagov and Parsons cancel out. James drops it back to Organ. Prowler sending the Graham line out there. Organ looks ahead, has it tipped in by Graham. Federley and Varava chase after it. Varava ends up with the puck. Graham chasing him down. Chipped out. Johnson. Chased by Bencic, and he leaves it for Lockhart. Up to Johnson. Got around Bencic, gets back to the puck. Couldn't slide it through to Graham. Fed around, Federley tried to pass it in front, couldn't do it. And it's stuck up on the back of the cage. Referee comes over, still doesn't blow it down. They're still playing with it, and finally a whistle goes. And we will get a whistle with 16:03 left in period number 3. Alex Johnson with his arm up in the air. Not sure how long that puck was stuck on the back of the net. See Gonzalez trying to cover it through the net. He was successful for a moment. The referee may have told him to stop it, and that's why play continued for a bit. Off the face-off in Wolves territory, it's fed ahead to Bencic. Took a hit from Brockway as he got it out of his own end. Favaro flying up. Here comes Nick Favaro with speed. Favaro dangles through, gets back to the puck in the corner. Favaro taken in. Varava trying to spin off of Ray. Ray looked like he may have taken a stick or the puck up high. Either way, holding his space, going back to the Prowler bench. Here comes Jamer to the Cumbus, and he couldn't get a good touch on it. McDonald chased by James. Now Dunford starts to work up. Rink-wide feed finds Gordon. Bucell takes over for the Prowlers, and he gives it over to Bazal, looking for a return. Here comes Bucell with speed, with a shot kicked out by Gonzalez. Bazal keeps it deep. 5 minutes gone in period 3 as Dustin Henning, the Wolves captain, skates out with it. I'm sure the plan for Dustin Henning is to play again, as that one went off the Zamboni door and Skinner covers it up. But Henning is going to end this season with the second most games played in FPHL history. This is his 525th. 523 as a skater and 1 as a goaltender. We'll tell that story when we come back on the PHP Network.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like some McMorrin fries, please.
All right, that's going to be $4. Okay.
She shoots, she scores with the new Prowlers debit card.
Don't you have somewhere to be? The game's on.
Get your Prowlers debit card only at Flagship Community Federal Credit Union, located on Lapeer Road in Port Huron. Flagship Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA. Well, this is the last game of the 2025-26 FPHL season, and we'll be losing a great broadcaster. Now, as Jeff Barrett, the Watertown Wolves broadcaster, is retiring now after this season. Barrett has seen the Commissioner's Cup lifted there in Watertown, and he did some really great work for a really long time. So I just want to give a big shout out to Jeff Barrett on a fantastic career. Always fun to see him out in Watertown. Always great to chat with him whenever the Prowlers were facing the Wolves over these past few years. Wish him the best of luck in retirement and hopefully see him around Watertown Municipal Arena again soon. Alex Johnson goes back for the puck in his zone end. Fed it ahead, and Dunford lost it in neutral ice. Hakala couldn't make a play on it. Chipped ahead, Fadiev battling against Johnson. Lockhart off the boards and out. Dunford tried to slide it in, couldn't do it. And it's back to Inlow. Now before that break, I teased the story about Dustin Henning playing 1 game as a goaltender in the FPHL. That was back in the 2013-14 FPHL season when he was a member of the Danville Dashers. If I remember the story correctly as he told it to me, he had to fill in as a backup goaltender in that game. And he ended up coming in for just under an entire period when he made, well, when he got scored on. I don't know if he made any saves. He does say he made saves, didn't get credit for any in the box score, but of course this was the 3rd year of the FPHL's existence, so you never know about the box scores from all the way back then as they were still figuring things out. But Dustin Henning has played both as a forward and a goaltender. So 523 games, or not a forward, a defenseman and a goaltender. I'm sure he's played forward as well at some point, but 523 games as a skater and 1 as a netminder, second most in league history. And here's Price on the backhand. Shouldered away by Gonzalez. Henning is the active games played leader in league history. He is 28 ahead of Matt Graham, who is trying to play in his 500th game next October. Price with a rising shot. That one goes up out of play as Gonzalez got a piece on the way up. There's a souvenir for somebody there in the upper suites. See if Gonzalez got a piece of this one, or exactly where he got a piece of it. Actually, sorry, this is an earlier chance, the one that Gonzalez was able to shoulder away. Bobby Price looking for goal number 30 this season. In the final game of the regular season, trying to become the first Prowler with 30 goals since the 2022-23 campaign. McDonald has to chase back in the neutral zone. Fed ahead, got through a few players. No icing as Skinner leaves it behind his net for Brett Lockhart. Lockhart's pass missed its intended target, goes all the way down, and icing called against Port Huron. Call Fraser Building at 810-364-2766 or visit FraserBuildingCompany.com for all of your construction needs. From thought to finish, together we build a home. Austin Dunn, the public address announcer, getting the fans loud here at McMorran Place. Crowd of over 2,000 here watching this one as Connor Bazal wheels in. Drops for James to the net. Stopped by Gonzalez. It popped out the other side. And James has it again on the half wall. James trying to dangle through Varava. McDonald left it behind. James got it to Jamer. Cycle deep for Hakala, who has 2 goals in the game. Hakala on his backhand with a backhander stop. Rebound comes all the way out to Brockway, steps into it. Stop, rebound, Hakala, another save by Gonzalez. It pinballs around, drops behind the net. Graham, back passer, Hakala, another attempt. It's in the blue paint, and Gonzalez finally able to get a whistle. .11.5 to go in period 3. Artu Hakala bidding for the hat-trick goal. Rico Gonzalez able to make a few saves. There's the backhander. And then Brockway with the clapper. Hakala a couple more tries. He might be on track to be our Gunther Graphics player of the game, but I don't know if I'll make him do another interview. He'll at least be the first star, likely, as Dunford slides it ahead. Gilbert, D to D to Henning. Now Gilbert wheels in. Spins away from Organ. Price lost it in his skates. Bavaro bangs it up the far wall. At the top, Dunford trying to settle down the puck. It was on edge. Gilbert took a hit from Organ. Prowlers try and dig it out. And Favaro finally able to, but only for a moment, came towards the front of the net. And Skinner has seen enough. He gets on top for a whistle. No real shenanigans in this game, unlike last night. Did have the one fight, but that was just some business settling and nothing else came of it. Just 18 total penalty minutes in this one. For reference, last night Matt Graham had 15 all on his own. And that's one player from one team. Johnson has some skating room. Passes it off to Bucell. Swung it in deep. Newman harassed by Federley, who takes the puck. Bazal back to the point to Johnson. Federley all the way across, looking just for a fortunate bounce towards the net. Instead, the Wolves able to clear. And Lockhart settles things down in his own end. Bazal drops it back to Johnson. Now Lockhart. Try to go back to Johnson. Newman took that away. Now Lockhart has it again. Trying to spin away from Trevor Newman, he does. Here comes Brett Lockhart. Couldn't dangle in. Fadiev trying to slip past Federley. Fadiev to the net, in front, they score! Trevor Newman breaks the shutout bid for Dyson Skinner. Wolves on the board with 9:40 left in regulation. And Newman now with the last two Wolves goals in this building as he was crashing the post. Found the loose puck at the top of the blue paint and just able to slip it through. And Newman with his 8th goal of the season. The Wolves on the board, it's a 2-goal game as Parsons and Fadiev try and flag down the dump in the corner. Brockway takes his man in, along with Ray. Loose puck grabbed by Alex Ray, chips it up the wall. McDonald right back where it came from. Fadiev with a rising shot, caught the back glass. Pitching in was Varava, centering feed, kicked off of Brockway's skate. Wolves with their first sustained pressure of the game. Ryder trying to get away from Parsons. Up top, McDonald, wrister, stopped by Skinner. Rebound available, back on net, and Dyson Skinner has that one. Past the midway point of regulation of period 3, Prowlers now only up by 2.
Discover everything banking should be with Advia Credit Union, like earning real financial advantages. You can earn up to $1,000 with your new account. Plus, save an average of nearly $4,000 in interest when refinancing. Get started with a low-rate credit card balance transfer. Enjoy easy access to your money, anytime, anywhere. Make the switch today at adviacu.org/real people. Advia Credit Union. Real advantages for real people.
Back here on the PHP Network, Prowlers lead it 3-1 in the final home game of the regular season. And with tonight's official attendance of being 2,067, that takes us to a grand total for the year of 43,380, which is the second highest ever attended season for the Prowlers in the FPHL, trailing only the 2022-23 season. One key distinction, that year, 9 home games were against the Motor City Rockers. They haven't had that luxury this year. However, want to thank all the fans out there. It's been up big time for the last couple of years and the second highest attended regular season ever in league history. Now, let's make it the best playoff attendance in team history. Will, back to you.
Well, another important distinction on that one, because I believe this is actually the most attended season in Prowlers history. 2 of those games in the 2022-23 season were held down at Raising Cane's River Center in Baton Rouge. They were neutral site games, but the Prowlers got credit for the attendance because they were the home team. So, if you take out those 2 games, which is about close to, it was close to about 10,000 people, I believe. If you, maybe 10 to 15,000 people, if you take out those 2 games, then I think this season will surpass that one in 2022-23. Here's Bazal, kick save by Gonzalez. Again, that's an important distinction from that year as Graham steps in. Again, it looks like this is the most attended Prowler season, at least from a McMorran Place perspective in franchise history. So thank you again to all the fans who have come out, whether you came out once, a few times, or every single game. If you came out to every single game, you aren't hearing me right now. With a blast by Hakela, held off the goal line by Rico Gonzalez, who almost got pushed back into his net by the blast. That was a howitzer from Artu Heikkila that almost sent Gonzalez into his net. Gonzalez doing everything he can to just stay in front of the goal line. Good look at it from our overhead here. Prowlers back to work in the offensive end. It's Parsons with a wrister over to Price. And he's stopped by Gonzalez, who was able to slide over as Price had to load it up and settle down the puck for a moment. That gave Gonzalez enough time to get over and make the save. There's Price again. Try to turn it to the blue paint. Gonzalez couldn't collect. Price looking to tuck it. Gordon able to knock it away. Puck did come to Gonzalez for a moment, and it's tossed out by Henning. Off the glass. Settled down by Samard. Quick up to Bencic. And now Henning works in. Left in the middle of the ice. Jamer or James. Tried to get it to Bazal. That didn't work. Henning played it off the linesman. And the Prowlers take back control. Favaro with skating room on the right wing side. Gets to the red line and deposits it behind Rico Gonzalez's cage. Wolves netminder out to give it to Inlow. Inlow saw his pass come back to him. This time he goes for a high flip. That comes all the way down to Favaro. Up to Bazal. Blanketed by Chris Corrigan. Puck stays in. 3-on-1 down low for Watertown, but the pass across knocked away by Favaro. Inlow. Backpedaling, shooting, and that hit his own man, Fadiev. Johnson knocked down to an E. Back in comes Ryder. Trying to slip past James, couldn't do it with the puck. Favaro looking ahead, long pass. Tried to find Federley, but the deflection from Inlow drew the play offside. CJ's Bar and Grill keeps the kitchen open until 1 a.m. and gives you a 10% discount for wearing Prowlers gear on a home game day. It's the perfect place for all of your post-game celebrations. Prowlers looking to finish this one out and celebrate their 37th victory of the season, which would be, again, the second most in franchise history. Puck off the end wall, collected by Heikkila, and up to Graham. Back to Artu Heikkila with 2 in the game. Heikkila shot kicked out by Gonzalez. Comes back around to the far side. Parsons pinched in. McDonald has 2 Prowlers collapse on him. Graham in front. Heikkila kick save by Gonzalez. Parsons trying to settle down that puck as it was bouncing and rolling. McDonald down the wall. Parsons taken in by Affinati. And then a hit thrown there by Gedman on Lockhart. Brett Lockhart didn't like that. And now Lockhart and Gedman are going to drop the mitts. Lockhart hammering right hands on Gedman. As Gedman lost his balance. And that left him susceptible. Some right hands from Brett Lockhart. Says what's up to his bench. Fans getting loud for Brett Lockhart. He goes off of concern. Jamie Bucell also heading off the ice. He's doubled over and followed by Prowlers trainer Bridget Smith. Gedman is also off the ice. There's less than 5 minutes left in the game. There are those hammering rights from number 18. We'll take our final timeout. 4:52 to go in regulation. Brett Lockhart's fired up.
Discover 1195 Gastropub in Marysville. Burgers, pizzas, apps, and pub favorites like filet mignon and grilled salmon. Open Monday to Friday, 4 to 9 p.m., Weekends 12 to 9 p.m. Join us for happy hour, Monday to Thursday. Enjoy half-off bottles of wine every Wednesday, and don't miss Thirsty Thursday with $4 draft beers. Great food, cold drinks, good times. That's $11.95 Gastro Pub.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
We invite you to tune into our next broadcast. Game 1 of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs coming up on Wednesday, April the 15th. It's a 7:30 p.m. puck drop in Wytheville and a 7:15 pregame show. It's all coming up right here on the PHP Network. Prowlers are actually going to be short-handed here as Brett Lockhart picked up an extra 2-minute penalty. So he gets 2 in the 5. Gedman gets the 5. And what a start for a pro career, or Brady Gedman. A fight last night and a fight tonight for the feisty 20-year-old out of Dublin, Ohio. Played this season for the Florida Eels in the USPHL Premier. Lockhart picked up an extra 2 for cross-checking right before that fight. Prowler's PK gets its second chance of the game, and the Wolves power plays 0 for 1. Here comes James short-handed, and he just lost the puck, but he drew a penalty. He pokes it back to Oregon. Skinner is heading off for the extra attacker. So it's 5-on-5 right now, with Skinner out of the net in the delayed penalty situation. Somehow Tim Organ was able to escape the press there, and here comes Organ flying in. Favaro couldn't pull it to his forehand, and finally the Wolves touch up. So we'll go to 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 13 seconds. And heading to the penalty box is Darian Bencic. There you see Bencic on the left side of your screen, hustling back after James. It was the whack right there on James's hands that knocked the puck away from Luke James. That drew the call. So we got a face-off down in Gonzalez's end and some 4-on-4 action. Here you take a look at the Prowlers bench. Graham, DeCumbis, Parsons, and Favaro out there for the Prowlers. It's Henning, Fadiev, Inlow, and Varava for Watertown. DeCumbis tried to force it down the boards, couldn't get it through Fadiev. Graham looking to turn the corner up top. In his own end, taken in by Ryder, who took the puck away. Up comes Henning. Sends it in, 3 Wolves heading after it, 2 Wolves at least heading after it. Swamp the near side boards, Favaro looking for a counter. Graham left the puck behind. No offsides here. Parsons chips it around Varava. Parsons to Organ. Drops on his backhand. Tried to slide it through, nobody home. Jamer picks it up. Jamer to the net. Blocker save by Gonzalez. Organ looking in front towards Jamer. And that hit Henning's skate. Fadiev, spinning away from Jamer. Almost lost the puck. Varava down and around to Henning. 14 seconds until this becomes an abbreviated Prowlers power play as Jamer picked Henning's pocket, but couldn't make a pass. Jumps in over to Jamer. Puck exploded off his stick. Malsagov around to Dunford. It's now a Prowlers power play as Bobby Price is out of the box. He was serving the 2 for Lockhart. Johnson couldn't force his way into the offensive zone. All 4 Wolves over there near the puck. Ends up sliding to the near side where Inlow gets to it ahead of Hakala. Hakala almost took it from him. Price trying to do the same. Here is Price, back pass in front, and Inlow cut it off from Hakala. 20 seconds to go in this Prowlers power play. It's Favaro. Curl and drag with a shot that was blocked. Graham, centering feed, came all the way out to the top. Johnson Over to Favaro. Walks in. Favaro. Tried to feed it in front, came back to him. Favaro again, in front to Hakala. Sells for Price. Shot blocked. Price again, kicks it to his stick. Slid it to Graham. Couldn't get it there cleanly. Gonzalez covered. And then Price took a stab at Gonzalez, and the Wolves get on top of Bobby Price. And that ends up going poorly for Gonzalez, who ends up at the bottom of the pile. Price is heading to the penalty box, so the Wolves will go back to the power play after that, slashing the call against Price. Third chance on the power play for Watertown, and they are 0 for 2 so far. There's Rico Gonzalez. Seems no worse for wear. See Luke James giving Bobby Price some words of encouragement as James heads over to line up for the face-off against Raider. Draw one back by Raider. Wolves set up what's likely the last power play of their season. Gonzalez will not leave the net, even though his team is down by 2 with under 2 to go. And James sends it all the way down. Justin Coachman waving the white flag on the Watertown bench. Bencic fires it all the way around. Newman waiting for it on the other side. Popped up in the air. A couple players try and grab it with their gloves. Johnson back for Parsons, and he wrists it all the way. Bencic wheels up. Fed it to Fadiev, kept it moving to Bencic. Tried to send it towards the net. Newman and Bazal come together on the far boards. Parsons pins it to the wall. We've hit the final minute of the 2025-26 regular season. Playoff time is almost here. Still pinned on the end wall. To the back to Gordon with a wrister, missed wide, almost hit Parsons, may have hit Brian Parsons, who went ducking behind the cage. Fadiev walking the goal line, couldn't get a good shot away. And James, able to clear it all the way down. As a good stick by Parsons to keep Fadiev from getting a good shot off. 20 seconds to go. Prowlers will get their 37th win of the season, the second most in franchise history. They'll finish with 107 points this season. And they head to the Commissioner's Cup playoffs as the second seed in the Empire Division after a 3-1 win over the Watertown Wolves. Final shots in the game, 49-11 in favor of the Prowlers. They celebrate with Dyson Skinner, who gets his first win as a Port Huron Prowler in his first start with the Prowlers. Final shots in that third period, 18 for Port Huron and 4 for Watertown. Well, of course, the playoffs are coming. Next Wednesday will be game 1 of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs quarterfinal series between the Prowlers and the Blue Ridge Bobcats, as the Wolves hugging each other here in what is their last game, and they will shake hands with the Prowlers as Watertown's season comes to an end. They finish in last place in the Empire Division, the worst season in franchise history, 14-36-6. They missed the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. They end on a 13-game losing streak and win just one of their final 20 games of the year. as everything fell apart in the back half for a Wolves team that was kind of sort of competing for the 4th spot in the Empire Division for the first half of the season, and then again the wheels just fell right off for them in the back half. And there you see Dustin Henning, the captain, at the back of the line having an extra moment with Matt Graham, former teammates. And you know, I hope to see Dustin Henning again next season, as he could break the FPHL record for games played. He's just 7 behind, now 6 behind Joe Pace for that record. Former Prowlers captain, Dustin Henning. But the Wolves will skate off the ice one last time, and you talk about an organization with future unknown. Players on the ice. Of course, after a season like this, you never know what could happen. And it's an organization that's been around longer than the Prowlers, but they did not play in the Prowlers' inaugural season back in 2015-16. Prowlers going to celebrate with their fans. They bang the glass all the way around. And one last salute for the regular season for the McMorran faithful. What a season this has been, and look who's there at the end to give him the fist bumps. That's Ken Andrews, the Prowlers owner. First year of ownership turns into one of the most successful in franchise history on and off the ice. And what a start for the Ken Andrews era of Port Huron Prowlers hockey. Dustin Henning continuing to soak it all in here. Over in that far corner. Down to our right in front of the Zamboni door. So you have the, of course, prayer circle at center ice, and it's like Henning is going to head over to join that. And I don't want to call it anything for Dustin Henning, because if there's anyone that could find a way to come back for another year, it's Dustin Henning. He's been a part of the FPHL for 13 seasons now. Won a Commissioner's Cup with these Watertown Wolves back in 2015. Former Prowlers captain and a longtime staple of the league and of minor pro hockey. And in my first year with the Prowlers back in 2022-23, Dustin Henning was the captain of the team, a veteran who sat next to me on the bus in the seat across the aisle. And he was the guy who helped introduce me to pro hockey and how it all works. And Dustin Henning steps off the McMorran Place ice one last time this year. It's always emotional at the end of a season, especially when you're a team that's not going to the playoffs and you know your season's not continuing, but that's not the case for the Prowlers. They have a second season to think about coming up in just a few short days. We'll get tonight's 3 stars of the game.
It's now time for tonight's 3-star selection. The third star of tonight's game with the game-winning goal, number 29, Bobby Price. The second star of tonight's game with 2 assists, number 51, Matt Graham. And the first star of tonight's game with 2 goals, number 28, R2 Hakila.
Well, R2 Heikkila gets the first star of the game. We did want to torture him with another interview, but Matt Graham seems to be forcing that to happen. Hikes, you can give it to me for interviewing you the first time, but the second time, this is all Matt Graham's fault. We'll send you down to ice level with R2 Heikkila and Brady Beaton.
Down here on the ice with our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game, R2 Heikkila. Now, R2, you did the interview with me after the first period. You did that one in English. I want you to do this one in Finnish, your native tongue. So let's start. How does it feel to get a win here on the final game?
No tosi hyvältähän se tuntuu, että vika runkosarjan peliin, niin aina mukava päättää voittoa ja sitä kautta helpompi lähteä playereita kohti.
All right, so you're getting ready for the playoffs. How exciting is it to, get ready for postseason hockey and try to win a Commissioner's Cup?
No tosi innoissaan lähdetään, että tässä on pari päivää aikaa valmistautua.
Any message for all the fans here at McMorran Arena?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, R2. Congratulations. Our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game, R2 Heikkila. Aiden, have fun translating that. Will, back to you.
Thank you, Brady. And R2 Heikkila in his native Finnish with our post-game interview. There's some kind of spillage over by the door here. Not sure what that is, but I'm not sure we want to show it on camera either. R2 Heikkila, 2 goals tonight. Gunther, our first star of the game, our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game. We will take a break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up the final game of the regular season. It's next here on the PHP Network.
Are you sick of asking somebody else to live your own life? I'm Josh with the Franchise Guys. If you're ready to quit your job or build your empire, I'll help you trim down my 800 franchise brand partnerships down to a few that fit you, fit your goals, and fit your budget. With options from senior care to airplane detailing, there's an opportunity for you. Owning a franchise can have up to a 90% success rate. That's better than job security. With the systems and support of a franchise, you won't be making all those costly mistakes as you would if you started your own business from scratch. And with options as low as $6,000 to get your own job-replacing business, there's no better option for you than to book a free call with me and my team. Visit GoFranchiseGuys.com. Stop dreaming about a better life and go live it.
Come party where the Prowlers party at Hamlin Pub. With 10 locations including locally in St. Clair, Richmond, and Chesterfield. Hamlin Pub is the best place for your hangout. Watch the Prowlers or your other favorite sports teams on their mini screens throughout the pub and get your weekend going with live entertainment every Friday and Saturday. Come party like the Prowlers at Hamlin Pub.
Hey, Spike. My hip meds are costing a fortune. My humans are stressed, and they're pretending it's fine.
You're not alone, Max. My humans are cutting back on my flea and tick meds.
Ugh, tell me about it. My thyroid pills were draining the kibble fund until we found Global Pharmacy Plus.
Online stores? Are they actually cheaper?
Way cheaper. They save my humans 40% or more compared to those other big online sites.
My humans can finally afford on premium treats again!
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring. We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it. Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue. Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh,
we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Will Wiggleman back here at McMorran Place. Fans getting ready to hit the ice with the players one last time this season as the Prowlers wrapped up a 2025-26 regular season with a 37-17-2 record and 107 points, 37 wins and 107 points, both the second most in Prowlers franchise history. But let's take you back through this one. Started early in the first period. And Arttu Heikkila, who had a goal last night, got himself another after the Wolves couldn't clear their own end. How about the pass from Matt Graham back to Heikkila? And an underrated kind of pass there. Very skilled move from Graham. Just quick backhand, left it there on a tee for Heikkila. And Arttu Heikkila able to put it past the blocker side of Rico Gonzalez, who didn't have much of a chance on it. And Heikkila opened the scoring there, and that's where it stood. Past the midway point of the game in the second period. Prowlers on a power play. And when you're a goal scorer, you can find ways to will the puck into the net. That's what Bobby Price did there. Rico Gonzalez stopped about 90% of this shot. But it just slipped through. And a leaky goal for number 29. As Price finishes the season with a team-high 29 goals and 52 points this year. A few minutes later in the second period, another Prowlers power play, and they continue to work it around. Out some nice passing from Alex Johnson, Matt Graham to Heikkila, and he has his second goal of the game. Heikkila finished the year with 16 tallies this season, including 6 on the man advantage. Did a lot of damage from that bumper spot on the power play. How about the 6-7 celebration from Heikkila as the Prowlers gave away 67 jerseys to the first 500 kids in attendance. And those of you who know a thing or two about what's going on the internet and has been going on the internet for a while, you know why that number is significant. It was 3-0 Prowlers through 2. Dyson Skinner only had to make 7 saves through 40 minutes. Wolves got 4 shots in the third, but unfortunately for Skinner, one of them just able to find its way in. Trevor Newman scores the last goal of the season for the Watertown Wolves, his 8th of the year. But it's the Prowlers who get the win tonight by a final of 3-1. We'll take a look at our Gunther Graphics player of the game in just a few moments, but our Brady Beaton is now getting set to stand alongside Prowlers associate head coach Chris Paulin for our Schultz Roofing coaches interview.
Down here on the ice with Chris Paulin for our Schultz Roofing coaches interview. Coach, let's just first talk about this game. You heavily dominated. I thought in the D zone you were terrific. What about these guys were able to do what you've been preaching all year?
Yeah, that was a big point of emphasis coming in tonight. Dominating defensively, dominating in the D zone. Obviously some mistakes, but I thought overall the effort was really good. Guys selling out, and that's the way this team is. It doesn't matter, what part of the season or what it means for standings. Everyone's going to go out and play for each other. Thought you saw that right early on. Buck stood up for LJ, and he wouldn't fight Buck, so LJ said, I'll fight him. And guys giving a foot on LJ, and LJ, I thought it got us going with that, and all night too. I thought it was a grindy performance for the guys. I think we got a little frustrated a little bit in the second period, and then rebounded really well. And then when we did have breakdowns, I thought Skins was there for us.
I'm going to ask you more about the season at large as much as you're going to tell me it's focus on Wednesday. 56 games. I mean, you had some ups and downs, a lot more ups than downs. What do you take away from the season as a whole?
That we've earned the opportunity to play on Wednesday. So, and I think I'm very proud of the group we have in there. I think not just as hockey players, as men. This has been the coolest group. I've said it a few times now, but this has been the most special and coolest group I've ever been a part of. It's the most fun I've ever had being around a team. The sacrifices that these guys make that nobody knows. Nobody knows, people, and they like to make their comments, but these guys are unlike anyone I've ever seen before, what they're willing to sacrifice, not only on the weekends when you watch them, but what they do Monday through Thursday when nobody's around, and how much effort they have. We have 10-year vets like Austin Federley showing up early in the morning, and the goalie skates doing extra work, working on his game. It's a very special group, and I'm excited for the opportunity for these guys.
The fans have responded throughout the year. Over 43,000 people came through these doors at McMorran, the second most attended Prowler season ever, and that's without having a rival 30 minutes down the road. What does it say about these fans that, they're starting to buy into what you're saying and what they see on the ice?
These are the craziest, most passionate supporters in the league. They're awesome. I love everything about it. I mean, we have energy drivers in Section 9 going crazy every night. It's well known throughout the league. This fan base is unbelievable. They're a big part in any success we have this year is a large part to the community support. Even tonight, like with the jersey giveaway, made possible by Mobility Remodelers, Jim White, huge supporter of the team. You just have people from all over, really the area, that want to be a part of this, that want to support these guys, that want to support what we're doing here in Port Huron. It's really special to be a part of. I said it a little bit last night, but this is a community effort. This isn't just players and staff, and we have our extended staff with the media team, all you guys do. And I do want to, I don't know how many more questions I got, so I want to take this moment.
Go ahead, I'll make Will wait.
I want to take this moment. The guy holding the camera right now, Aiden, you don't see him because he's holding the camera, but as a professional as they come, he's been, we worked really hard to get him here. I basically made him do this. He is unbelievable. When you see the response of the crowd, a large part of that is because of all the upgrades that our owner, Ken Andrews, and his wife, Christy, what they've done, and they've believed in us, and they put in, and they supported. And then this guy holding the camera has been unbelievable. What you do, Brady, and you make it, the professional level of this whole broadcast has a lot to do with you and Christian and the guys behind the scenes. And then obviously you have Will Wiggleman, who's he's the glue of the organization. This doesn't exist without Will. I don't even know if we'd be here anymore without Will and everything he's meant to this place. So I just want to thank you guys for everything you've done. Now let's get ready for Wednesday.
Absolutely. Right. Real quick, we talked about Aiden. The best word to describe him is a unicorn. There's not a lot of Aidens out there. People, like you talk about, people don't know with him behind the scenes. But all that said, all that happy butterflies and sunshine, you got a playoff game on Wednesday. You're going to Blue Ridge, a team that has improved since the last time you've seen them. How do you put all this behind you and get ready for a short turnaround and a trip to Virginia?
Yeah, no, this was a big part of it. We've been preparing for Blue Ridge here for a good week and a half or so, and this was live reps for our group to further prepare. Special teams, especially on the PK, getting those reps and making sure we're dialed in with exactly what we want to do on the PK, I thought was huge. And you saw the guys perform tonight. It was really good. And I think they're a really good team. We know the challenge at hand, and our group's ready for it.
Good news, you're a pretty good team too. So, Coach, thank you again, and hopefully next time we're talking about maybe a trip to the Empire Division Finals.
Sounds good, Brady.
For the last time in the regular season, our Schultz Roofing coaches interview with Chris Paulin. Will, back to you.
Long-winded Chris Paulin with lots of shout-outs to our entire crew here in the broadcast booth. Also, already got to talk at length about them during that second intermission. In case you missed it, please go back and listen to that because a lot to talk about the entire staff here in Port Huron. Let's take one last look at our Gunther Graphics game stats, the final stats from tonight's game. Prowlers outshoot the Wolves 49-11, get a couple of power play goals in a game that didn't feature too many penalty minutes. Port Huron did dominate in the shots on goal department once again against the Wolves. 3 stars of the night. The 3rd star, Bobby Price with a goal. 2nd star, Matt Graham with 2 assists. And our 1st star of the game was Arttu Heikkila, who had 2 goals tonight, finished with 16 on the season. A 4-point weekend for Heikkila. If that's a guy that's starting to get hot for the Prowlers at this time heading into the playoffs, it's going to be really, really awesome to see, but should be really interesting to see where he fits into the lineup for game number 1 on Wednesday. Gunther Graphics, your go-to guy for logos, websites, and branding. We'll take one more time out. When we come back, we will take one last look around the FPHL and wrap up the 2025-26 regular season. It's next here on the PHP Network.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Hello, I'm home. There he is. What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack wrap is back.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Is that him?
Look over there. It's Bob. Wow, just look at that hair.
Ever since he started getting his stuff from Global, the guy's unstoppable.
So that's what confidence can do?
That's just not fair.
Oh my goodness, it's Bob! Bob! Bob!
Give me the phone. I'm calling Global Pharmacy Plus for myself.
This isn't working. Okay, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. I'll take. Come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Well, welcome back one final time in the regular season to McMorran Place. Fans littering the ice to meet their favorite Prowlers players after they took down the Watertown Wolves 3-1 to end 2025-26 before they head into the playoffs next weekend. Autographs on those awesome jerseys being given out to the kids before tonight's game. Let's take one last look at our out-of-town scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Still 2-1 Black Bears in Binghamton through 40 minutes of play as they lead the Danbury Hat Tricks. Still searching for the first goal in Columbus. It's scoreless between the Dragons and the Ice Cats. Still 3-0 Bobcats as they approach the end of period 2 in Virginia. Looking for the first goal late in the first in Topeka. John Werber between the pipes for the Sentinels and Matt Lenz in between the pipes for the Scarecrows. And they have been perfect so far. Baton Rouge has a 2-1 lead on Biloxi. They're through 20 minutes down on the Bayou, and the Rock Lobsters and Moccasins traded first period goals. It's 1-1 heading into period 2. Of course, here are your final tonight. 3-1 Prowlers over the Watertown Wolves. Outtown Scoreboard has been presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. Well, that is going to do it for us here on the PHP Network to wrap up the 2025-26 regular season. But there still will be more on Wednesday as the Prowlers visit the Blue Ridge Bobcats. But as for tonight's crew, tonight's broadcast was produced and directed by Christian Jackson, Andres Hyde, Liz Brown, and Kyle Cosson. Zach Dotson was running the graphics. On the cameras tonight, Kim Nelson, Paul Campbell, Reagan Hayden, and Alexander Nelson, and Aiden Bricker. And shout out to the entire team here at McMorran Place that has made hockey so great all season long. And we look forward to seeing you back for the playoffs next Friday and Saturday. Again, we will see you next time here on the PHP Network on Wednesday. The Prowlers visit the Blue Ridge Bobcats for Game 1 of the Commissioner's Cup quarterfinals. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. and the pregame show starts at 7:15. It's all right here on the PHP Network. But for Brady Beaton and our awesome crew here at McMorran Place, fans on the ice on Fan Appreciation Night, thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in all season long, and we will see you for the playoffs here on the PHP Network.